hurry to call.
Big 3 points for Arsenal as they finish 5-0 winners. We're going to dive into this match in just a second, but first things first. Let's flash back to Friday and remember Stevie's prediction.
Oh, no. I tell you what, Dan Thomas has got to be involved in this. The one thing we're talking about Arsenal is they're struggling to score goals, and they're going to play against a side who are going to sit deep and try and block any sort of avenue.
What's your prediction for this game?
I do believe that Arsenal will overcome Crystal Palace.
Okay, yes.
I am just telling you.
Will it be a frustrating
time? You that anybody turning up thinking this is going to be 5 or 6-0.
Yes.
It's not going to be.
Stevie, your thoughts?
I knew it. I knew it.
Well, do you know who the first person to text the producer was?
Oh, Dan Thomas. He called me as soon as the game finished. As soon as the game finished. Listen, I've only got one thing to say in my defence. Nobody would have thought that Crystal Palace were going to be this bad.
So it wasn't Arsenal being good?
Arsenal were okay. Don't
just okay? 5 goals, just okay?
Don't try and tell me that this Arsenal team was a rampant Arsenal, because they weren't. You know, they got 2 goals from set pieces. As far as open play, it wasn't until Trossard's third that, Palace just down tools. And then we saw what Arsenal are capable of, but that's with time and space and on the break. But they've still got some struggles breaking down defences. But at the same time, I'm going to have to eat craw. I was completely wrong, but again, nobody could have seen how bad Palace were going to be.
You agree with that?
Yeah, this was a good performance from Arsenal, nothing more, nothing less. It was exactly what they needed. Bearing in mind in the first half, the 2 goals from set pieces, they didn't create a lot else, and then they managed the game and it opened up for them and they took their chances, and in the end it was extremely comfortable and it was extremely embarrassing from a Crystal Palace and Roy Hodgson perspective, and that's a different story, and one that's not going to end well for Roy Hodgson, I don't think, looking at their form. But
did the 5 flatter Arsenal?
No, because Crystal Palace just, what was their out ball? Give it to Mateta. He had a fight with the 2 centre-halves, ultimately went nowhere, and it came back at them. So it was never, ever in doubt once Arsenal went 2 up. And look, the only thing Arsenal needed to do was get 3 points here and then start to build some momentum. Because out of all the teams, well, out of the 3 teams that we think are going to be vying for the Premier League, they're the ones that have lost a little bit of momentum in the last month. So they have to find a way, starting in the start of today, to get the points, to get the goals, to get that momentum and start rolling forward. They've got Liverpool coming up at home, so that's going to be, a real big test for them. And it was hugely important that they did not make any mistakes today and drop points. And in all fairness, Sebby, it never, ever, ever looked like it.
I didn't mention it when we saw them. We do have ex-Arsenal man Kieran Gibbs and Julian Laurent with us to discuss this game more. Kieran, are you buying this as kind of the turnaround performance Arsenal seemingly needed?
Yeah, listen, I think the engines have started up again. Whether Crystal Palace were bad or not, you have to give them credit. It was a strong performance today, matched with the result. And Craig's right, you feel like everyone needed that, the managers, the fans and the players, and it kind of just settles down the panic. But they were good today. First and foremost, a clean sheet, which, would have done them a world of good. And I think we just saw a lot more signs in the team that we saw last season in terms of their power going forward. They had total control of the game, but they also looked dangerous today. I thought the most impressive thing today was, and I mentioned it last week in the studio, which I thought was missing this season, was how quick they got into Palace's final third. And I think it explains their expected goals number today, which was pretty high. I think it's their secret weapon, along with set pieces, funny enough, but how quickly they can transition from defence to attack and unleash their front four, for me, will determine how successful they are this season. When they win the ball back in the middle or in their own half, the first pass has to go forward, and they have to get those front boys involved in the game straight away and driving at the opposition as quick as possible. And I think we saw a lot more of that today, and that's what blew Palace away. It would have been nice to see Jesus on the score sheet, but I think his influence in the game today was undeniable, and he's a brilliant player. And you know what? I actually don't mind where we are in the league at all right now. Mid-Jan, nicely in and amongst the pack, and they can just go about their business quietly under the radar, not creating too much noise, hopefully. When they're flying high, it encourages your Craig Burleys and your Stevie Nichols when they lose a few to jump on this ridiculous
You don't want to be top of
Arsenal
the league.
doomsday train.
He's had a couple
As
of...
though
I'm gutted.
as though it's some kind of sinking
He's had a
ship.
couple of weeks to get
Ridiculous.
off this...
Ridiculous.
To get off the good ship paranoia. And he's
ESPN FC against Arsenal.
He's still on it. He's still believing that Arsenal should not come under any scrutiny.
I wish
But you know
Liverpool.
what, though?
I wish
We
Liverpool
haven't- we
were
haven't
top of the
actually
league.
seen-
I really do.
Go on,
we
Kieran.
haven't seen this. We haven't actually seen this Arsenal side in this kind of position before. We normally see, last season they got chased down, at the last hurdle, and they kind of exceeded everyone's expectation last season, and lost in the final stretch. But it'd be interesting to see, when they're in and amongst the pack, chasing down. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here.
Jules, we know you got a soft spot in your heart for Arsenal. What do you make of what Kieran says?
Yeah, I agree with what Kieran said, what the boys said about the performance overall. This is a win that they absolutely needed. I think the break in Dubai did them some good, of course, and Arteta said that. In terms of being the hunted or being the hunter, I don't think I would want to be behind Liverpool and City going into the last stretch of the season just because they've been there before and they know how it works, and I'm not sure how many points they would drop. So even if you win your last 10, they might also win the last 10, both of them, by the way, and you still finish third. So I would always take the points first, but I also find it quite interesting what Kieran is saying. It's true that we haven't seen them chasing. We've seen them for the last 18 months more in the lead than not, more top than second or third or fourth. So it could be interesting, but I just don't trust City or Liverpool to drop points towards the end of the season.
Stevie, I know you're kind of having a laugh before, but you think Arsenal's in a good spot, flying under the radar?
Why would you not want to be top of the league? That makes no sense to me.
I mean, given what happened last year, if you're an Arsenal fan, you were top of the league most of the year and it didn't end well. So this is something different.
Well, that's all. At the end of the season last year, we were talking about how the experience of being at the top and being chased is going to be great for Arsenal, because the next time it happens, they're going to be able to handle it. I would far rather, if I'm Arsenal, be top of the league and able to call on that experience that I didn't have last year in order to turn it around this year, as opposed to being points behind and the game behind, and no matter what you do, it's not in your hands. That doesn't make any sense to me.
They're going to have to go on a good run. Do you back what we saw today to go on a run? I think they got Liverpool in a couple games. Other than that, the next 5 or 6 are pretty accessible.
They need to. Because City always generally come strong second half of the season, and we're starting to see, and we saw snippets of that at Newcastle, with De Bruyne coming back and with Erling Haaland still to come back. So they have to, and there's a pressure on to do so, particularly with Liverpool's form, and City are still the team to beat. I'm intrigued by this radar that they're flying under.
Yeah. What radar is this?
What team can be? I mean, Aston Villa are flying under a radar because nobody really expects them to be around come the end of the season. Not in the fight for the title. But when you are the team that for, I don't know where it was, 80%, 85% of the season last year were playing great and were the team to catch and looked like you were going to win the league, and City come strong and you have some injuries and you don't win it, you go out and you spend big. You buy one of the best midfielders in Europe in Declan Rice, you spend 70 million on Kai Havertz. It was a curveball, but they spent it. So when you go out and buy these players, allied to the squad that you've got, your manager's been backed, and you're a year, 18 months down the line, there is no radar that you're flying under here. You're either in this title race or you're not. And you're only one bad result away from more questions, and that's what he could not afford to happen today. So all in all, perfect day for them. Palace, it turned out, were a good team to play at the Emirates, and the likes of Trossard and others for the second half of the season putting their hand up and saying, hey, forget Martinelli, forget him, because when this guy plays, comes off the bench or starts, he generally always makes something happen, and he did that again today.
Perfect, other than the Declan Rice injury. We don't know how long it could be. Kieran, is this a player that Arsenal, we saw that schedule, even if it's something short-term, they can survive without?
I mean, probably not. Probably not. I mean, I said it a few weeks ago as well. I think the middle of the park would be something to strengthen actually in the January transfer window if they can't strengthen up top, just purely because of the money. So, he's key. He's key. We need him. He's the first name on the team sheet. And if anything, if there is something wrong with him for a while, then that'll need to be addressed this window for sure.
Jules, any update? I mean, this could be huge for Arsenal's title hopes.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Of course, he will do some tests tomorrow. The good thing, I guess, in a way, if we can say it's a good thing, is that they don't play this weekend coming because it's the FA Cup. They're already out. So that gives you a bit more time for him to recover. Let's hope that it's maybe more like a Mo Salah kind of injury that we saw at AFCON, where maybe he felt a little bit his hamstring, but it's nothing too bad. So you miss a game or two maybe, and then you can come back. More than if it's a bad hamstring injury, and in that case, if he's out 3 weeks, 4 weeks, then I think it's a huge blow. I mean, Jorginho can play there, but we saw the double pivot against Liverpool in the FA Cup working really well, certainly for an hour. I think that was in Arteta's probably somewhere in his mind when Liverpool come back to the Emirates at the beginning of February, a game that we've mentioned already. If there's no Declan Rice for that, it's Jorginho on his own. It's a very different story, and I think they will struggle if Declan Rice is out for a long time.
Thomas Partey's reported to be due back early February. I mean, he's going to be short of match fitness. There's no doubt about it, but you might have to throw him in at some point, depending on Declan Rice. So,
I'll tell you, that's a problem. Liverpool's got the same problem with Salah, because as important as Declan Rice is, Mo Salah's the same for Liverpool. And with Liverpool and Arsenal playing, in 2 weeks?
Yep.
That's with a hamstring. Certainly in my experience, 2 weeks is the minimum for any sort of hamstring. It's going to be really tempting, particularly for Arsenal, to take a chance on Declan Rice. And if that goes the wrong way, and he's out for an even more period of time, that's a huge problem for them with the title race. They might have a real tough decision to make come the Liverpool game, whether they risk maybe their season or they just leave him out. That's a tough one.
To Jules' point, there is some time. There's 10 days until Arsenal's next game when they play Nottingham Forest. Since you mentioned Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson, you think this is it?
well, you got Steve Parish at the game today. He owns a minority shareholding. The big investment comes from this side of the pond. They are ultimately being dragged back into the relegation dogfight. Now, do I think they'll be relegated? No, because other teams are being deducted points and there's more FA punishments coming for one or two of them. I think that would probably save them. But when they came back in last year, they scored a lot of goals. And off the back of Patrick Vieira, it looked good. But long term, it was never the way forward. And you know, there was reports. I mean, every time they have a bad result, Steve Cooper's name pops up, who was relieved of his duties at Nottingham Forest. Graham Potter's name pops up. There are others out there that longer term, with a longer term view, that Palace have to make a decision on. And you know, Roy Hodgson's been a great coach for a long, long time, and he's done a great job wherever he is. But you've got to look at him now and look at his team and think, now's the time to make a change. And I think we saw that with the Palace fans today at the Emirates. They're getting really, really frustrated with the way the club is being run and with the way the team is playing.
Would you say down tools? You're basically saying they've quit on the manager, right? They've quit?
No, I'm not saying they quit on the manager. First of all, you quit on yourself. That's the first thing that happens. But the problem is when you've got 3 or 4 who look as though they're disillusioned and I'm just not sure what to do. That's completely different than, you know, having a problem with a manager. They just need maybe a fresh face, some new fresh ideas to get them going. which is what happened the first when he came back. You know, it was just a case of a fresh face, a different voice, slightly different way of playing, and it worked wonders. You know, it kind of smells and looks like that's what they need again.
Smells like a kind of Graham Potter. You know, rebuild his stock, good manager. Everybody's talking about him going to
the
Man
stadium,
United.
wasn't
money though.
He was in the stadium, wasn't he?
Everybody's talking about him going to Man United. He's not going to Man United. Man United are not going to hire Graham Potter. So somebody like that who would be prepared to go in there for, you know, at least a 3-5 year period, longer term, play some nice football, coming off the back of his sacking, would probably be given time, not a huge budget. Somebody like that going forward for them, I think would be ideal.
Jules, Roma, winners on the day, AC Milan as well. They picked up a 3-2 win over Udinese, but that's not really the story that's making the rounds about this game. Play was suspended after what appeared to be another incident of racism. Mike Maignan, the goalie, abandoning the pitch along with his teammates. Really, Jules, just ugly scenes.
Yeah, ugly, Sebi. I mean, we say it all the time, but how can we be in 2024 and still talk about things like that in football stadiums? But that's what happened, and I think we have to applaud what Mike Maignan did tonight, because I think this could be very significant. I hope this could be a turning point too in the fight against racism in football, but all over in society as well, because he didn't say anything the first time he was racially abused when he went to get the ball to take a goal kick. But then the second time it happened again from the same curva, from the same stand of the stadium. He decided that was too much. He told the fourth referee, and then the referee decided to stop the game, and Mike just walked off with his teammates. I think everybody should have walked off, but at least it's a start that when the game is suspended for 10 minutes because of that, and that the goalkeeper or a player by himself decided that this is enough now, this has to stop, and decided to stop the game. So let's hope that the culprit could be found, and surely with the CCTV cameras we've got a stadium, even in all stadiums like the one is in Italy, you can get that. And I think for Maignan, who the other thing to applaud really is how calm he stayed, because I think when he was in a similar position against Juventus a few years ago, if you remember, he got really angry, and this time I thought he stayed really calm. He just walked off saying like, this is not acceptable, I can't take this. But by staying calm, I think he helped the situation a lot, and it didn't happen again when the game restarted. So I think he did the right thing, and let's hope now we can find those people, that they will never put a foot again in a football stadium, and that hopefully Serie A and Italian football and football in general will be better.
Kieran, you're not far removed from the game. I wonder about your reaction, not necessarily to what happened in the stadium, but also then the response from Mike Maignan and his AC Milan teammates.
Yeah, I thought the players handled it brilliantly. I thought Mike Maignan was brilliant. I mean, listen, I think we haven't heard of a case for a while, and it kind of, you know, goes through waves where we don't hear about it, and then an incident happens, and you know everything kind of blows up again. But I thought the way he handled it this time was brilliant. That's what you want to see from a professional, and I think he kind of he really set the standard for, you know, how you should deal with those kind of incidences. Yeah, it is so obviously still surprising that we still have to have these conversations still in this day and age. I would probably like to see less chances given when these kind of things happen, because I think that would, you know, after the second time that he went out, the play was fine and the game continued and everything was good. So, you know, to really stamp it out, you know, there's a slogan that says no room for racism. That should mean that there's zero room, no room at all. So no second chances. The game has to be abandoned, in my opinion. But this is a start. So yeah, I thought that, you know, that was a really good thing that Mike Maignan done and the players done and the manager, I thought dealt with it very well.
So Leverkusen might not want to say it, Xabi Alonso might not want to say it, but as it stands right now, it's looking like it is theirs to lose. But let's get to some of the things that we saw in this game, particularly that we heard Jonathan Tah ourselves during the broadcast say that Xabi Alonso told them at half-time that he doesn't care if they win or lose as long as they stick to who they are. The coach then reiterated that in his interview with Archie, and that's just what they did today.
And there was a significant, noticeable contrast between the performance of Bayer Leverkusen in the first half and the second half. And so I imagine the message from Xabi Alonso would have been, if we're going to lose, let's do it our way. Playing our way. Let's depend on ourselves, not playing their style and the way that they want to play. Let's go back to what we do well. So our possession has to be cleaner. Our movement of the ball has to be cleaner. We got to use the wide areas. We have to be able to use our talented players in the attack. And if we're going to attack from one wing, the other guy has to close back down the far post, which we saw in the game-tying goal. And if indeed none of this is working, if we're not able to create the chances that we think we're capable of, or we can't take advantage of those opportunities, let's take advantage of set pieces, because we do the work on set pieces. It was noticeable that Bayer Leverkusen in the second half, there has been a tactical and I think just an attitude change from Xabi Alonso, clearly communicated to the players, and the players executed.
Can they keep this up? Because we saw the goal scorers today. We see a substitute off the bench and 2 defenders as well, stepping up when they need to be counted.
This games and this sort of results and this sort of goals and this sort of drama goes a long way in making sure that everybody, not just the starters, not just the guys that usually play, but that everybody believes that you're capable of winning a title. And they're going to need everybody, because injuries are starting to pile up. And we saw Ezequiel Palacios coming off the field today as well, and he's holding his thigh, and you're kind of going, what's going on with him? And Boniface is out for a while, and Frimpong came off the field as well. And so you're going to need a guy like Nathan Tella to come off the bench and do something for you, do something productive. And what did he do today? He scored a goal. So when you start seeing these sort of things in which there are injuries, there are reasons to doubt, there are reasons to kind of question the validity of the title hopes for Bayer Leverkusen, and they continue to answer those questions, then you have to say, we have to say, Xabi Alonso may not say, the players may not say, but we have to say, yeah, they're very, not only are they very much in this title race, yes, they're now 7 points ahead of Bayern Munich, so of course it is their title to lose.
And even though they're playing lovely football, they are absolutely practicing their set pieces.
And it is important, because it's a different way to win a game. It doesn't always have to be just this beautiful passing sequence and all the gorgeous things that Bayer Leverkusen have been able to do this season. Sometimes you have to resolve the issue with set pieces. Now, quickly, and I know this conversation is not about Leipzig. If you're Leipzig and you're defending a set piece in a matchup, how do you really think it's a good idea to put 6'4", mountain of a man, Jonathan Tah, matched up with Sepp Salazar defensively, 5'8"? Oh, wait, no, that's not Sepp Salazar. Sepp Salazar is taller than Xaver Schlager, okay? You don't put a 5'9", I'm going to say very friendly 5'9", because it's more like 5'8" if you're Schlager.
It's a generous 5'9".
Yeah, very generous, just like a generous 5'9" for Sepp. Regardless, you don't put Sepp on Jonathan Tah. Will you put Sepp on Jonathan Tah? Not even Sepp would put himself on Jonathan Tah, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're Bayer Leverkusen, you took advantage of it, you win the game, 3 points, pressure back on Bayern Munich.
And as we saw, Marco Rosa had the correct words to describe how that was, but that's not safe for work, Seb.
Brentford take the full 3 points. 3-2 winners over Nottingham Forest at home. So what does it mean for the bottom of the Premier League table? As we told you, Crystal Palace down there, but they're 5 points from safety right now. Your bottom 3, Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield United. Of course, the story, though, Ivan Toney's return. What do we make of his performance, Stevie? Looked like a guy who hadn't played for 8 months?
No, absolutely not. He was fantastic. Scored a goal, had an assist. Generally, his all-round play was great. Played like an old-fashioned centre-forward at times, holding the defender off, laying people in. I mean, it couldn't have gone any better. It really couldn't if somebody had written it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it
was
doesn't get any better.
fantastic.
You get 8 months off with pay.
and suddenly your stock is much higher.
And walk straight back into the team.
I mean, I feel like he was a $50 million player before.
Because they can't win a
before
game. So yeah, I mean, obviously, nice to see him back. Learn from your lessons.
You think he improved his stock a little bit? I mean, he seems to be like the hottest player right now when you go.
Well, he needs to rebuild his
transfer talk.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, he can only do what he's doing, but rebuild his reputation, rebuild his game, his career, learn from your mistakes, and concentrate on the rest of his career. And he can do no more than that, and it's a very, very good way for him to start with the goal. Bit of controversial goal.
Yes,
according to some.
Yeah. Jules, to Stevie's point here about Ivan Toney and Brentford, it was a great moment, but it felt like it almost might have been the last moment there at Brentford. Do you think this was his last game or close to his last game before a move?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he will move this month. I think they will ask for too much money. And to be fair, I mean, if they stay up this season, which with Toney they have a big chance to do, more than without Toney, even if they replace him with another striker, it would be worth far more to them than the 60 or 70 or 80 million pound that they are asking for Toney as a transfer fee. So I don't think it makes any sense for them to let him go now. I think it's too expensive for anybody anyway to sign Toney. I don't think he's even worth 80 million pound right now anyway. So let's see how it gets on between now and the end of the season. In the summer, it will be a different discussion and different story. But in January, I really don't believe that they're going to let him go. And even if they were opening the door for 80 million pounds, I don't think there will be any club ready to sign Toney for that amount of money.
I think I'm not one for sentiment, clearly, on scenarios like this anyway. But I think he owes it to the club to at least stay to the end of the season.
Why?
Well, what do you mean why? He's had this ban, right, which is on him. The club sticks with him, as you'd expect, because he's an asset.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, they're in free fall, right? It's not out with the realms of possibility that they would get relegated. It'd have to be bad for them, and I don't think it will, but they're down there. And I think it would be a bad look on him if he went, well, I want to leave now, and Brentford were to be relegated, rather than come in, do the job between now and the end of the season, score the goals, help solidify once again their position in the Premier League, and then see what the summer brings.
You think there'll be as much interest in him in the summer? I feel he's a player who people want now, but it might be different 6 months from now.
Oh, he could bang a good few goals in between now and the end of the season, and there's quite a few clubs you may have noticed looking for a good front man. But yeah, I mean, now is the time, the signing of desperation, January.
And if you're Brentford, if he's worth 50 million in 6 months, why not take 100 million now?
Because they'll not get that. That's why nobody's going to get him. If they turned around tomorrow and said, you can have him for 40, there would be a list of clubs ready to take him now. But the 80 absolutely is frightening everybody away. So that's not happening.
Kieran, you got a good look at him today. Is this the player that could solve Arsenal's problems up top?
I mean, I was really impressed with him today, considering he's not played for so long. And I like the way I like his attitude that he takes when he goes into every game. He's always looking to influence every single game, and he seems like he's there strictly for business. I think he's got that kind of arrogance that you need at a top club, because it's not easy. You're expected to put up big numbers when you play for clubs like Arsenal, United, and so forth. So I think he has what it takes. I think wherever he goes, he's going to score goals. I do like the idea of him at Arsenal. I think he would be an asset to the club, and it's definitely something that they need. His profile is probably perfect for what they need right now. So I would like to see him in an Arsenal shirt. I wouldn't like to see him go for those kind of numbers though at the moment.
It'd be under the radar at Arsenal, wouldn't it?
not for 100 million euros. Kieran, we heard from the guys in studio. Sounds like you didn't have too many issues with the free kick goal, the manner.
No issues.
No issues.
Not too many.
No
None.
issues.
Zero.
Kieran, who we blaming there? Is it the goalie? Is it the defender? Or is it just Ivan Toney being cheeky?
Cheeky?
I think it's the referee. I think it's the referee. It has to spot that, or the VAR, or the linesman. It's one of them where if he's my teammate and he does that after the game, I'm going to take him for a beer. But if it's the opponent, then I'm probably going to try and slander him. So it's cheeky, but obviously I don't think we're going to see it happen again after all of the attention surrounding it today.
Never met a player yet who's taken free kicks and not moved the ball. In 30 years, never seen one.
Jules, where are you coming down on this? You gonna slander Tony, or you gonna buy him a beer?
No, I mean I admire the fact that he did it and that that the referee didn't notice. The difference between now and when Craig was playing, even Kieran, to be fair, and Stevie, is that there's a spray now, and the referee with the spray points out where the ball has to be. The ball cannot move. Once the spray has been, this is where the foul is, the ball has to stay in the spray, and the goalkeeper puts his wall where the spray and the ball is. So if you start moving the ball, that changes the whole dynamic. So for that, I'm not sure what the referee, the mistake is on the referee, nothing wrong with Tony trying to do it, because obviously he gains an advantage by moving the ball away from where the ball should be. The biggest issue maybe I have is not so much the referee not seeing it, is what is Callum Hudson-Odoi doing, really? I mean, one, if he's not supposed to be in the wall, I mean, he half lifts his leg, but half of it, he doesn't really want to be there. Why is he not going into the wall? He should be seeing Tony moving the ball, so he should be aware and react and saying, like, hang on a minute, maybe they actually need me now properly in the wall to block that shot. I mean, for me, Hudson-Odoi is, I just don't understand what he's doing right there.
It should be noted as well that not only did he move the ball...
Exactly, yes. He moved the spray. That's the genius of it. He didn't, I mean, by Jules' definition there, he didn't even break the rules, really.
He attempted to move the spray, which sort of came with him, and he left the patch, never cleaned it up. And let's look at it.
Was I wrong to use the word cheeky? You laughed.
No. Do you know to Jules' point about Hudson-Odoi, there are certain things that have never changed since the game started. And when you ask forwards to do a defensive job, they don't know what they're doing. And it doesn't matter how many times you tell them, doesn't matter how many times you put them in the spot in the training field, they'll be looking at you, but they're thinking about something else.
Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Nico, don't do this to me, mate.
Don't think, just...
No!
Oh, you weren't even there, was you?
I know, this is kind of cheating here. I don't know why we're connected. This is why we're connected. Morgan, Nico, welcome to Football Friends. Your job today is to match answers by guessing what your partner is going to write on his whiteboard. The top score so far this season amongst the footballers is Bart Verbruggen and Jason Steele with 6. How confident are you?
Very.
Very? Honestly, the chat off camera has been we could get 10.
Yeah, it's possible. If we're on the same wavelength, it's more than possible. Don't overthink it.
Okay, number 1. Who does Nico honestly think is the fastest player in the Nottingham Forest squad? No cheating here. I don't want to see looking across. Hold your board up close to your chest. No cheating here. Nico's trying to get a little eye line in.
You're that quick. I don't even know. Oh my days, are you okay?
Nico, don't do this to me, mate. Oh my days.
Oh yeah, no.
Hold your board up, no cheating.
Yeah, I know.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
were confident.
Why did I not think of it?
What? Heck, I don't understand what you were thinking about.
I don't know. I was thinking of Taiwo.
Next up, this is a tough one. How well do you really know your mate? Who is Morgan's footballing hero?
Oh, you ain't gonna know this.
Look into each other's eyes, you might be able to get something.
Did you know who I supported as a kid growing up? No. We've had this conversation. Yes, we've had this conversation because I supported the same team you supported growing up.
Whoa! This is clues starting to develop here.
All right.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
You told me you supported Man United as a kid.
Liverpool I supported.
Lad, you told me you supported United as a kid, and then when you went to Liverpool, you supported Liverpool. You're a glorious
no.
Is there a truth in that?
There's no truth in that. I've always supported Liverpool.
It's all about putting down the first thing that comes to your head here, really.
And that wasn't even my hero as well. I was trying to guess what you were getting.
Who was your hero?
Scholes.
Scholesy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never got that.
1 point so far. Who does Nico honestly think will win the Champions League this season? Now let's think to the sides here.
I don't need to look into your eyes.
3, 2, 1, reveal it.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, 2 points, 2 from 3, big start. Who was the other team you were thinking of?
To do it.
Brian?
Madrid.
Ooh.
Add them as well after.
Which Forest player does Morgan think would make the best manager?
You think?
Don't think, just...
Nico's got something here,
Okay.
straight off the back. 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Yeah, boy.
Ryan Yates.
Flying.
Who else are you thinking?
Woody.
Why Ryan Yates?
I just think out of everyone on the team, he would go into
Yeah.
be
He
manager.
just
Yeah.
loves football that much. You can never leave it.
Bit of a leader as well
Yeah.
in the dressing room.
Definitely.
Okay, who does Nico think will win the next Ballon d'Or?
There's 3 players who it could be. Right? We just need to. You write one, I write one. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Think about what's coming up in the summer as well.
Oh, that's good thinking. That is good thinking, but it's also a clue. Hoping for 10, you can't get 10. Hoping for 9,
I'm going off the Ballon d'Or's tomorrow.
but it's not.
He would win.
This
I know,
is-
but
okay.
it's hard to...
I know, this is kind of cheating
It's
here,
hard
I'm
to
not
tell.
going to lie. There is a lot of clues flying around here.
Right,
Enough talking here, enough talking on this round. 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Yes!
You know who I put instead?
Who?
Mbappe.
Did you? Oh yeah, I was thinking of him, but then I thought, if he carries on the way he's doing,
He will.
He's got to win it.
Who does Morgan think can bench the most in the Forest squad?
I'm going off the biggest and strongest, okay?
3, 2, 1, reveal.
There he is. Yes, boy.
They are flying.
Big Willie.
The boys. I thought one of you might go Anthony Elanga. I've seen him a lot of gym posts.
Yeah, but he's a big guy. He's a strong kid, but he's to bench the most.
You've got to go for the biggest guy.
Next up, who does Nico think has performed the best initiation song since signing?
Okay.
Right, can we go?
I know what you're gonna put, and I'm gonna put it as well. I know
The funniest.
the funniest. I've gone for the most obvious funny one, the one that stayed with this team for about a long generation.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Yeah.
Who
was you thinking
I
about?
Diogo, pre-season in Spain.
I didn't go.
Oh my god, you weren't even
I
there, was
wouldn't
you?
see.
That is so lucky.
What was Chase?
Waka waka.
Waka waka.
Oh, was it?
Samina.
Waka waka.
And that song stayed with us after every game we'd win. We'd play that song.
Fans, like, they made a song out of it, so...
Love it. Okay. You boys, I think, have just matched the top footballing score there, but you can go above it. Who does Morgan think is the Prem's best ever midfielder? Oh, this is what's happened
This
here.
is why we're connected.
This
is why we're connected.
You are.
That's poor from you. That's a poor question from you.
That is. The thing
Sloppy.
is, it's sloppy. It is.
Sloppy.
It's sloppy hosting.
If he doesn't get this,
Yeah,
you know
it's
he's
just-
miles off
It's a
it.
disaster.
Miles off, he doesn't get it.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
Scusi.
boy!
Scholesy. Why was Scholes your hero? Just like obviously not playing growing up.
When I supported United growing up, I just always loved the way he played. He was just dictating the game. Everything. It was just top.
Who would you have put if we'd have flipped it round?
Gerrard.
Stevie G. No KDB shouts.
He's still got time. Still got time.
This is good. Who does Nico think is the worst player to go into a 50-50 with in training? I'm
Like,
not
we're
saying
just
any
gonna-
more context. You've got to
So a
think
50-50, that's someone, like...
That wants to go in there.
clattering 50-50.
That wants to go in.
Yeah, that you know, oh, this is disastrous.
There's 2.
I've got 1, and I'm sticking with the 1.
3,
Very happy.
2, 1, reveal.
No!
He's
Was that...
Brazilian.
Yeah, but he would absolutely kill you in a 50-50.
He would kill you, but
His calves are like my quads.
I can't believe it.
That's who my other person was, Ryan Yates.
You can only get a
got
maximum of 8.
You
You've
get
got
8.
7, so you are
We can
currently
get
top
8.
it. This is
That's
to
the last
go overall top of the leaderboard ahead of anybody who's ever done this.
Alright.
Okay?
Just have faith.
Who does Morgan honestly think has the worst trim in the squad?
Right. Hey, we know this, Neeks. We know this. We know this.
Oh no! This is surely clues that are being
I
developed
missed
here.
that.
Hands and gestures coming out. This is.
I'm sticking with this answer because it's what I think. But
Because I think...
Be 100% sure because we need this point to win.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
Yes!
8 out of 10.
Get up, the boy. It's like a steady trim, but he's always dyeing his hair.
It's the
He's just dyed it blue, isn't he?
It looked blue yesterday. It's gone black blonde today.
Yeah.
I think he left the purple shampoo.
Boys, 8 out of 10.
Take it.
Happy with that?
Yeah, more than happy.
Top of the overall board. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Morgan, love that.
Pleasure.
Peter, top very
Thank
much.
Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Last weekend
exactly?
saw the return of Kevin De Bruyne to the Premier League. What an impact, Joe, that he made. He came off the bench to get a goal and an assist to give Man City all 3 points. Cracking game that was, by the way, at St James's Park. And it got a lot of people talking online about where Kevin De Bruyne ranks. We know he's a top player, but where he ranks in terms of the greatest ever midfielder.
He's up there, isn't he? He's up there. So we've asked our guests to pick the 10 greatest Premier League midfielders of all time. This is not going to be easy. There's actually 11 magnets on the table in front of you guys. You're going to have to come to an agreement on the order, though, because I've seen both of your 10 lists, and there is quite a lot of disagreement on the order.
And the reason why there's 11, as you say, is because there's one name different and the order's slightly
I think
different.
that Dan's got the leaf has. So let's start at number 10. Who do you think is the 10th greatest midfielder? You've got your list in front of them, so you don't forget your 10 list.
I mean, I don't need to look at my list for this one because my number 10 is an incredible number 10, and that is my boy Mesut Ozil.
Yeah.
For me, second highest assists in a single Premier League season, and that was whilst every other assister here was supplying some of the greatest strikers in Premier League history. This guy did it in a season where he was supplying Welbeck and Giroud, who are top players, but you wouldn't say that they were the standout striker of a Premier League season. 19 assists in a single season. And aside from stats, there are things that this guy does on a pitch that are simply magic, and I love him. One of my favourite players of all time, Mesut Ozil.
Agree or disagree, Neve?
I mean, I don't disagree that he's incredible. And as well, you know, this was through that Wenger in, Wenger out time.
Yeah.
It was a really messy period for Arsenal, and he was a shining light. But no, he's not in my top 10.
Who would you go?
My 10 is
N'Golo.
N'Golo.
Wow, low. I feel that's low for Kante.
Wow.
That's what I mean. N'Golo is in my list, which we'll find out, but 10th is harsh for what he's achieved.
You know, it's still the 10 best midfielders. With a lot of the midfielders in the Premier League, we're talking the 10 best out of so many. So, you know, I'm not saying
Where have you
bad.
got?
So I've got N'Golo, let me just check here. I've got N'Golo 9th. So
He's making a big fuss.
No, but what the reason why I think Ozil should be in is because of the team he played in, and it's kind of like a Stevie G thing where if Ozil was playing for the likes of City, United, Liverpool, or any of the great Premier League teams, he would have gone on to achieve what they achieved. But to be in a lesser team and get 19 assists in a single season, and also just on the eye test to be one of the most amazingly gifted footballers I've seen.
Players, aren't they? So
yeah.
Are you happy to have him 11th, maybe? And then we can use number 10 and change
seriously, I can concede so many things, but Mesut Ozil has to be in this list.
Who is not going to be in the 10 then? Because this is
David Silva, because he was going to be my 11th.
David Silva's not in your top 10.
He was going to be my 11th.
Wow, I know it's your birthday, but that's a massive...
No, but can I just say, he was going to be my 11th. Wait, guys, please, let me land. Let me land.
Seen in parts.
Let me land. I'm under pressure right now. Let me land. He was going to be my 11th because there is no doubt that there's a reason he's called Merlin, like unbelievable player. And also, at one point when people thought he was finished, he came back, shaved his head, and just became even better. But for me, he was in a City team that was dominating the Premier League.
But are you trying to say that David Silva couldn't do what Ozil did at Arsenal?
I think
all-time Premier League.
I think Ozil's skill set and what he can do is totally unique. I think Ozil can do what Silva did. I don't think Silva could do what Ozil did.
David Silva recorded 27 more assists than any other player during his 10 seasons in the Premier League. He won four Premier Leagues. Titles. 60 goals, 93 assists and 309 appearances. I don't think I can put my name to a top 10 without David Silva. I know it's not our choice, but we have to have David Silva in.
Mesut Ozil.
Is there anybody else?
No, everyone else here I think is like banked on in the top 10.
Okay, if it's 3-1.
The only other thing, this would kill me as an Arsenal fan. The only other one that I would be logically saying is Cesc Fabregas, because everyone else it would be ridiculous to not have them in.
I think 3-1 here.
Guys, don't do this to me on my birthday.
Well high.
A lot higher than 10.
So if you were going to have Kante at 10, you were going to have Kante at 9. We start with Kante at 10 and Mesut just listed out for now.
Seems like a good shout.
And then we can carry on building through. We can always come back to Mesut.
I'll tell you what we can do as well. We can always come back and look at the order.
We can always come back.
All right, Mesut, full disclosure, I love you.
Arsenal
all right? I
fans,
fought for you.
let's get Kante in there.
Well, stick Kante up.
But Kante is a deserved player. I mean,
PFA Player of the Year, FWA Footballer of the Year for 16-17. Of course, won Premier League title back-to-back, didn't he, I think, Leicester?
Yeah, Leicester and Chelsea.
4 at 9, Neve.
Yes, so at 9 I've got Cesc.
Okay.
Who have you got 8, I guess?
So,
One ahead.
yeah, so Cesc Fabregas was at 8, yeah. So I'm more than happy with that. Captain of Arsenal at 21 and still second in all-time Premier League assists, despite being out of the league, like in between his stints at Chelsea and Arsenal.
Almost for his prime, really.
Yeah.
111 Premier League assists, which is second in the all-time league.
It's outrageous.
Incredible.
And like when Chelsea signed Diego Costa, you thought, oh, they finally sorted out a killer in front of goal. When they signed Fabregas, they guaranteed themselves a league title.
So you're happy to put Chelsea legend Fabregas at 9, yeah?
Look at the kit he's wearing.
Okay, we'll keep rolling up your lists. Who got next?
Top player, I do agree. Top.
So, I mean, for me, in 7, so I'm happy to have him 8th if you are as well. I had Yaya Toure at number 8.
I've got 8th as well.
Yeah.
Agreement so far.
2013-2014 season, I believe it was 35 games, 33 goal contributions, and he had a 90% pass accuracy for an entire season. I mean, that's up there with one of the best individual performances of a season, so Yaya has to be in there for me.
62 goals he scored, 32 assists in 230 appearances. Great.
Yeah, he became that kind of midfielder at Man City as well, but people forget that when he was at Barcelona, he was a defensive midfielder, even played centre-back in matches as well. He could be whatever midfielder he wanted to be.
Yeah, unreal player, unreal.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was such a match winner, Yaya, wasn't he? Like in single moments when they needed a big goal or a strike from distance.
Clutch player.
So he scored 20-plus Premier League goals, he said, in a season. I think it's only Frank Lampard did that before that, but yeah.
Next on the list, where we go?
Amazing return. Neve, do you want to take number 7? Who did you have at 7?
Yeah, so I've got Patrick Vieira.
Oh, no!
That feels low for me. What?
How dare you, Neve? Damn.
Who did you have, Dan?
I had, your boy Joe over there is not going to like this. I had Paul Scholes at number 6. So I would...
Where's the reaction to that?
Well, so I had him at number 6. But I'm happy to have him at 7. But I do think 7's too low for Paul Scholes, I'll be honest.
Sorry, 11 Premier League titles Paul Scholes we're talking about here. Treble winning Paul Scholes.
No, but when you see the players I've got in front of Scholes, I don't think you'll...
I will.
There's no way he's better.
Absolutely will.
You will, because he's his number 1.
I think
7 feels very low for both
7. I think 6 feels
Patrick
about...
Vieira.
I think 6 feels about right.
So you didn't even have David Silva in your list, so should we be considering David Silva here? And you...
Yeah, I'm happy. Actually, no, yeah, I'm absolutely happy.
But who would miss out from this list if David Silva went in?
Well, it'd only be Mesut Ozil out.
Yeah, sure.
So the rest can all go out.
So the rest can still go in, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm happy for David Silva, for Merlin to go in.
So you'd have him above Fabregas and you'd have him above Yaya?
I feel like David Silva's Premier League legacy is greater than the other players here. Obviously, what he didn't.
Even though you weren't going to include him in your list at all.
Well, yeah, but it's because I wanted Ozil.
You're very critical of his list.
I genuinely think if you watch like an Ozil compilation, I know that's a very like specific thing to say, but there are some things he did on the ball that just they didn't get you a goal or an assist, but they were just breathtaking to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that deserves a mention. So
right.
I would be happy to have
David Silva happy with 7?
Yeah. I'm happy.
Okay, let's get David Silva up.
Okay, David Silva in 7.
Which means let's talk about why you've got Vieira so low then, Neve.
Yeah, I mean, it's still really high. There's nothing negative to say about Patrick Vieira, but it just depends what midfielder you like, you know, which type of midfielder. I absolutely love Patrick Vieira. I mean, the Patrick Vieira that I saw as a first account was the Serie A Patrick Vieira, not really the Premier League Patrick Vieira, but still he had that tenacity.
So then we could possibly take my view on this because I saw him in the Prem being invincible.
So where have you got him?
Roy Keane. So I had Vieira as 4th.
Do you think Vieira over Roy Keane?
Yeah.
See, that's where
I had Roy Keane 5th.
Wow.
I had him. I had
a regular debate.
Yeah, so I had Roy Keane as the greatest captain in Premier League history.
Yeah,
he won 7 Premier League titles. I think it was 4 of them as captain. There's no doubt about that. But if you're taking what Vieira won when he was disrupting United and also just on the ball, who is a more naturally gifted footballer, I think Roy Keane is a top footballer, a great legend, a great leader. But Vieira, I mean...
Those battles were great, weren't they?
They were unreal.
Vieira's battle. 3 Premier League titles, Vieira.
So if it's Keane and Vieira between 6 and 5, which way around do you want to go?
I think it would be disrespectful to have Vieira below Keane in terms of footballing ability. So I think...
But then you've got the whole package as a footballer. I mean, they're both very similar in the sense that we've seen at Crystal Palace that Vieira as manager is a very calm, thoughtful man. And you look at, he's kind of introverted and laid back and comedic, Roy Keane. But they were so aggressive. They did what they needed to do to win games on the pitch. They were both that kind of player. They left everything out there and showed that respect to the fans.
Absolutely.
In terms of ability, yeah, okay, perhaps you... But Roy Keane, he was so tireless. His work rate, he covered every single
but work rate for me is something that's kind of like overplayed in English football. We seem to think like work rate is like...
Gonna have to push you on our...
What's the be-all and end-all? I think Vieira is way better as a technical footballer than Roy Keane. It has to. Get Vieira in there, please.
You don't stay in that Manchester United team, that iconic team. You don't stay for that long if you've not got the technical ability as well.
No, absolutely, I agree with that. That's why Gary Neville was also there, but
by the way, you
he's not
can put them down and move. You just need to see
okay, you know, go on.
Okay, Neve is conceding. Roy Keane, incidentally...
You want Neve at 5, right?
7.
So I want Vieira at 5.
Okay, put Keane in 6 then. Roy Keane, interestingly, 7 Premier League titles, named the PFA Premier League Team of the Year 5 times. Vieira named the PFA Team of the Year 6 occasions.
Top 4.
So 2 top players. Let's go to top 4. Let's just reveal the magnets you've got left so that we know. So you've got Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard and Kevin De Bruyne, which I think is fair, actually, because you see on socials when people are talking about there's often the Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard
debate. Trinity, yeah.
Is there,
and De Bruyne.
You say the Trinity, does that mean Frank Lampard is 4 for you?
So I actually had Lampard purely because of his goal-scoring stats. I gave him that extra buy. I had him 3rd, Frank Lampard, because I thought 177 Premier League goals.
Where did you have him?
Yeah, goals and assists. You know, brilliant. I had him 4th. I did the other 3.
And I'm not mad at that. Like for me, Scholes and Lampard for me were interchangeable. Like Scholes for me does the hardest thing to do in a midfield, which is control the tempo of a game, whereas everyone else had more to bring to the table in terms of goals or assists. But I'd be happy to take your lead on that. I do want to say is that Lampard is in the top 10 for goal-scoring midfielders of all time in football history, by the way, which I think is outrageous.
Absolutely. Get Frank up at 4 then. Frank Lampard at 4.
I think this is a fair 4. When you see the debate going, this is often the 4 that people compare. So I think your top 4 is...
We started fireworks here, but then logic is now taking...
Now this pressure, though. This is crunch.
Scholes, De Bruyne and Stevie G.
Number 1, is it? You go
number 3.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to put Paul Scholes number 3. I am. Which it makes me sad, but at the same time,
Have we got a close-up on Joe for this one? That
Joe's
was
not happy.
Go on.
It's 11 Premier League titles, treble winner.
20. I mean, Bebe's won more Premier League titles than Steven Gerrard, but I wouldn't...
Didn't win 11, though.
I mean, that...
Great goal for Cape Verde.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, for that alone, he could...
If you two are in agreement, it's not my list, it's your list. So if you're in agreement with him at 3, let's go Scholes at 3.
You're happy with Scholes at 3?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
11 Premier League titles, 20 major trophies.
Okay, Neve, where do you come down on the top 2? What's your opinion?
Work with me on this one, please.
Okay, yeah. So I've gone with KDB at 2.
Yes! Yes, Neve, yes. Sorry. I was very nervous about that.
Okay.
Why?
I think Kevin De Bruyne, he's come back. That 20 minutes that he's played against Newcastle, he scored a typical De Bruyne goal outside the box, pinpoint. He's got another assist. That's 103 assists now that he's got, which takes him to 8 behind Cesc Fabregas in second. But you've got to bear in mind the games. Kevin De Bruyne's played 244 Premier League games. Cesc Fabregas played 350, and Ryan Giggs with 162 assists.
Unreal.
Gerrard over
600 games.
Oh, I was going to say that De Bruyne would comfortably be the highest of all time if Giggs didn't play till he was like 87.
If injuries hadn't stopped Kevin De Bruyne from playing full seasons a couple of times, he'd have smashed that record right now.
But you agree, you're both in agreement, sorry, just to confirm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. KDB at 2.
KDB at 2.
Do you think by the time KDB retires, by the time he hangs up his boots at City, let's say, let's put these 2 up, will he have gone to number 1?
For me, it goes down to the kind of Ozil situation that I mentioned earlier, that Kevin De Bruyne is operating in the team of his Premier League era. So the players around him, who he's assisting, like everything, the manager that he's with, whereas Steven Gerrard has consistently been the captain of an underdog team throughout his career. And if he was playing for any of these teams, if he was playing for United in the 90s and the early 2000s, if he was playing for City now, if he was playing for Chelsea, he would win the same, if not more. I think he's...
So you're going Gerrard as one because of that reason, the fact that he had to do more in his team. Is that what you're saying? Because the players...
Not just that, the longevity of it. I think De Bruyne needs another 5 years of being at this level, which is really, it's easier said than done. He's into his 30s now.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard was in 8 PFA Team of the Years. No one's ever got close to that in the Premier League era.
Unreal.
It was just, he was
There
consistently...
we go then. Okay. Well, there is confirmation of Neve and Danielle's top 10 Premier League midfielders of all time. Steven Gerrard in at number 1. Pretty solid list, that, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty solid list.
3, but...
It's a January transfer window and most fans of most clubs up and down the country are worried which players their team are going to be bringing in. But at Chelsea, it's a different situation entirely, with 2 potential departures likely to guide how they spend their money over the rest of 2024. I am joined by Sun Sports Chelsea correspondent Andy Dillon to have a look at 2 players, Kepa Arrizabalaga and Romelu Lukaku, 2 players not at Chelsea at the moment, both out on loan, but set to prove a big problem to Chelsea come the summer. Dill's, great to have you to have a chat about these 2 things. Chelsea, introduction of your piece in the paper this week. Chelsea on a £170 million collision course with 2 of their most pricey and unsettled stars this summer, Romelu Lukaku and Kepa. Lukaku out on loan with Roma at the moment. Kepa with Real Madrid, of course, he's fallen down the pecking order. £500,000 between them in wages. Chelsea will be faced with paying out when they return, if, of course, they return in the summer. Just generally sort of sum up for us at the moment before we go into the nitty-gritty. What's the situation with the 2 of them at the moment?
Well, this is why football is such a great industry in a way, because this has all come about in the last few weeks, and in fact the double whammy, if you like, is, you know, all triggered by Jose Mourinho's sacking at Roma.
Yep.
He loved Lukaku, and while I was researching that story, looked up a quote from Lukaku, said I'd run through walls for this bloke. And it probably would, the size of Lukaku, probably could do it as well, couldn't he? But of course, Mourinho's gone, Daniele De Rossi has come in, you know, and Lukaku's, you know, he scored a few goals, but, you know, he's up against it now. Yeah. He'll probably fall down the pecking order. He could well find himself out of favour. Technically, you know, he could come back at the end of the season if De Rossi doesn't fancy him. And, you know, some of the educated guesswork over in Italy is that he will be up against it.
Yeah.
So technically, he comes back at the end of the season, the end of his loan. Same for Kepa. Kepa was number 1 at Real Madrid, but has fallen down the ladder. He's now regarded as the cup keeper, if you like. So technically, at the end of the season, he comes back. And the feeling within Stamford Bridge certainly is that Kepa is definitely coming back, even though he said at the start of the season, I want to make this permanent, and was basically writing his farewell note. So it's just amazing how things change so quickly in this game. And this is a problem that, you know, the new owners, Todd Bowley and Ben Adegbali and co, have all have inherited this situation. But it's going to be a big headache.
Yeah. Well, let's start with Lukaku then. You mentioned there, I mean, he's got 14 goals in 25 games this season, so a fairly decent return, more than 1 in every other game. And De Rossi has come in. There's talks already, some of the early reports suggesting that maybe Antonio Conte and Graham Potter on their short list to replace De Rossi in the summer. It's a temporary replacement. Your story this week saying the £37 million fee had already been agreed privately between Roma and Chelsea for Lukaku in the summer. But like you say, there's obviously jeopardy surrounding that now. What's the likelihood of him, if he does come back, what's the likelihood of him having any future at Chelsea?
Oh, well, you know, Chelsea is a crazy club at the best of times. These days, you know, despite the new ownership coming in and kind of hoping to settle things down, it's actually probably a lot more fluid than it ever was. Lukaku's made it patently obvious he really doesn't want to come back to Chelsea no matter what. I mean, he's had experience. He spoke to Pochettino, who came in as Chelsea boss in the summer. They couldn't thrash out an agreement for him to come back, so he then returned back to Italy. Of course,
if Chelsea get rid of Pochettino in the summer, there's a new manager there. It all just throws up in the air again, and this is the problem with a deal like this. So Lukaku's got, I think, 2 years left on his contract at the end of this season. Kepa's got another one, so it's just another headache that that Paul Winstanley, the director of sport, and his sidekick Lawrence Stewart, and Pochettino and Boli and Igbali will have to thrash out. I don't see him coming back. I just, I don't think there's any will or intent on either side of the fence for him to come back. But what do you do? The guys, with every year that passes, Lukaku gets older, right?
Yeah. Well, 30 years old at the moment. £97.5 million it was they paid in 2021 to bring him from Inter, who he then went back to on loan for the season. They couldn't afford him in the end, which is why he ended up going to Roma. But what do you think? It's been 18 months since he pulled on a Chelsea shirt. When you say there's no appetite from his side to go back, what is his issue? What's his problem? Because Chelsea, to be fair, are a completely different club since the one he left.
It's a good point. It is a good point. I mean, he had problems with Tuchel. Tuchel's now, 2 managers down the line already? Yeah. So you kind of think that he might be willing, and he may have to swallow, and he may have to come back. But you kind of get the feeling that he's just made up his mind. There's been lines drawn in the sand. That he was punished for doing the unsolicited TV interview. That's called massive bad blood, and he's just kind of had enough of it. And he's realised, he's not been a big success at Chelsea. He wasn't a big success at Manchester United. He's maybe thought, you know what, Premier League's not for me. And at 30, I don't want to go back there. So it's just entrenched now. Is my feeling on it. Like I say, but contractually, it's there in black and white that you've got 2 more years. But I just think he didn't like the tactics under Tuchel to start with. Didn't think they played to his strengths. Tuchel was often referencing the fact he had ankle injuries and that he was having problems with his acceleration because he was such a big guy. So I don't see either of that problem particularly, with the ankle, getting any better as he gets older.
No. I mean, £320,000 a week is Chelsea wages. That was an absolute whopper of a contract. It just seemed it didn't take long before it all went sour, did it, at Stamford Bridge? And you would imagine... I just find it a little bit strange because at the moment you've got Chelsea are struggling to score goals, aren't they? I know Nicholas Jackson's at AFCON, but it's fair to say he's hardly set the world on fire. Blues, there's a player in there and he's industrious, isn't he? But Blues fans, you've been used to watching Didier Drogba and Diego Costa up front, along with some of the flops they've had over the recent seasons. They're being linked, of course, as sort of one of the teams who are likely to have the money to meet Ivan Toney's asking price in the summer if he probably leaves Brentford. It just seems peculiar, and one that people perhaps forget that they've got a £97.5 million striker on their books. They're absolutely no interest in bringing him back.
Absolutely, and at one point was considered one of the best strikers in the world, but just sometimes it's just not a good fit, and this is where it all comes into play. When you hear managers say every signing is a gamble, you would have thought that's an absolute nailed-on certainty, and he's going to tear this division to pieces finally, but it just didn't happen. So it is a very peculiar situation, but then Chelsea's a very peculiar club.
So no future at Chelsea for Romelu Lukaku?
I don't think so. I think both sides are entrenched now. It's deep set that they will move heaven and earth to get him somewhere, probably back to Italy. Probably back to Inter. He's done a year at Roma, back to Inter, then another year at Roma, and then he's a free agent.
Yeah, well, like you say, I mean, FFP constraints, which is sort of the flavour of the month at the moment. We're seeing it with teams getting hit with points deductions, and even teams, Newcastle, huge bank balances who can't spend a penny this month because of those regulations. Chelsea will be desperate to get a £320,000 a week wage off their bill to do that. Let's talk about Kepa then. So you're saying no future for Lukaku. Kepa, on the other hand, it appears that he will be coming back. You've mentioned it already that Chelsea are expecting him back at the end of the season. His £180,000 a week wages seem a snip compared to what Lukaku's getting.
It's almost as low as what you earn.
Exactly.
Will, isn't it?
So, so he's 29, £72 million was a world record for a keeper. That was 4.5 years ago now. They paid Athletic Bilbao for Kepa, and again, it's one of those things where Chelsea's goalkeeping situation at the moment, Georgi Petrovic, playing pretty well. Robert Sanchez was in for a bit. Yeah, that's right. Do you think, what are they going to do? Will that be the same, where even though some people rate him, Real Madrid, if he's been playing there, he's obviously a keeper in there.
The interesting thing about Kepa is that he's made some wickets. And he also, of course, famously went to pot in the Carabao Cup final when he refused to come off. But he is a decent keeper, and instinctively, when he's not given too much time to think, instinctively he's actually top class. But again, that's entrenched. He's not been happy. I also think there's maybe a little bit of bad blood from the way he left in the summer, because he was all set for a fresh start under Pochettino and was happy and had spoken to the backroom staff, and then all of a sudden Real Madrid knock on the door and away he goes. So I see with a year left on his contract, when he comes back, I think there's a cut price deal that's going to be done. I think, you're looking at sort of 20 million quid just to get Kepa out of the club. So, it's, I don't see either of them coming back, but it's going to be extra workload for the transfer department before they can even think about, who's coming in and whatever. They're going to have to get those two deals sorted.
Yeah, so it's your exclusive in the paper this week as well, saying, and interesting how you worded it, because it's that he fears having to come back to Chelsea. Do you foresee a situation where, particularly with Lukaku, that Chelsea will be stuck paying a percentage of those wages and perhaps with Kepa as well, in order to get them off the books? Or do you think it will be, you've mentioned a value there, just cut price figures?
They'll do whatever's best for them. If they can make, save as much money out of it as possible, they will just do whatever it takes. If it takes having to pay 50% of the wages because that's the best they can do, they'll have to swallow that and do it. I just think the interesting thing with Kepa is, saying that he fears coming back. It's not like he's looking forward to it, because if you drop your manager in it sort of a few days before the season and skip off to Real Madrid, and then as soon as you turn up in Spain, you just say, do you know what, I love it here already and I'm not going back. And it's like all of a sudden it's like, I've got to go back and face those people. Chelsea have moved on, two decent goalkeepers in his place. Where does that leave him? So it's in his interest to go back. He's not going to be looking forward to it at all.
No, well, Kepa's been, he's played a bit for Real Madrid this season, but you've alluded to it as well. He's sort of turned into their cup keeper, isn't he? Andrey Lunin now pretty much Carlo Ancelotti's number one at the Bernabeu. Do you feel, where do you see his future? Because Kepa and Lukaku are going to want to be the main men starting most weeks wherever they go. Just to sort of finish us off, where do you think, I know it's a long way in the distance, what sort of clubs could you see coming in for?
Do that, mate. Put your finger in the air. It's just Lukaku does seem happy in Italy, doesn't he? But, I'm not a huge fan of the transfer system these days. It's just madness every single day. But it only takes one trigger, to open the door at one club, and then another club steps in, and the whole domino effect. So I don't see either player. Let's put it this way: I don't see either player staying in England. Certainly not Lukaku. And Kepa, I think he'll go back to Spain. I don't know what Atletico Bilbao's situation is, but he'll probably be happy going back there.
Are they the sort of characters, do you think, who could go to Saudi, perhaps, if there's the riches that are on offer there? I know we're seeing a few players, sort of changing their mind at the moment with Jordan Henderson and kind of some murmurings coming out that's not quite what it's cracked up to be, but are they the sort of characters you...
I could see Lukaku is a big enough name, play for Belgium at the highest level. In the Euros and whatever, really big name. So you could see he would be a bit of a magnet. Kepa, not so much. He's been never really settled at Chelsea. Never really established himself as the firm number one. He's a Champions League winner, but he didn't play. It was Mendy who played in the game. So they just seem to have limitless money, though, don't they? So I could see Lukaku going, but maybe perhaps not Kepa.
Well, there we go then. Sun Sports Chelsea correspondent Andy Dillon there, bringing you up to date with all things Kepa Arrizabalaga and Romelu Lukaku ahead of their likely departures in the summer. 2 transfers Chelsea and Chelsea fans will be desperate to make happen in order that they might actually have some money to spend within, of course, the FFP regulations on some other transfers. Keep an eye on Sun Sports socials for all your January transfer news.
Spoken a little bit about the top goal scorer for Morocco, Youssef Nesri, nearly added to his tally early on. Not said much about Cedric Bakambu, scored 4 goals at his last 3 African Cup of Nations games, and Congo not quite a side that people expect to be pulling up any trees, but a point against Morocco would certainly put some signal of intent into this side. As the referee comes back over now, things seem to be back working with the earpiece. We're almost ready to resume play. Go straight over to Boufal and Masuaku. Familiar with each other from their time in the Premier League. And we will get this corner back underway. About 4 minutes was the delay. And it's going to be a left-footed, out-swinging corner to be taken by Ziyech. In towards the middle, it's been hit forward in towards the back of the goal. It's a finish from Hakimi at the back post. He was running in just on the edge of the area, made a very late run, made it about 5 yards into the area. The corner came in from Ziyech right towards the back post. Hakimi first time hit it towards the goal, and Parsi couldn't quite see, think he saw it late, dived down for it into the bottom corner. Morocco have the lead. Looking at the replay for it, he ran in, he stopped actually at about the penalty area. It was Kakuta who was supposed to be following him. He stopped the run, didn't quite see his man running behind him, and as Hakimi found it, hit it on the volley. It went in towards the opposite corner. On the line was Wissa as well, he couldn't get to it. There was a dive from Parsi who also couldn't get there. 6 minutes gone, and despite the touch of Parsi, that's the only touch that Congo have actually had in this game. And Morocco lead now by 1-0. They'll get things back underway with Bakambu. Plays it back to Kakuta. Ball forward down the line, and it's out of play for a throw-in. It's going to be taken by Chibi. Inside his own half. Goes down the line for it. Being cleared by Kalulu. Kept just in play by Bongonda. And then cleared by Saiss again. Pushed forward in the direction of En-Nesyri. Brought down by Mbemba. Inside his own half at the moment. Cross to Inonga. Near the centre circle. He plays this to Masuaku on the left-hand side. Masuaku's ball to Wissa, who's come short into his own half to get the ball. Plays it back to Mbemba, who's in space at the centre circle. Cross one for Pickle. Back again to Mbemba. Out onto the left-hand side for Inonga. Cross to Kalulu again. Just inside their own half at the moment. Flick ball forward for Bongonda to chase. In goes the challenge there from Chibi. Surprised that there's not going to be anything given. Chibi stayed down on the floor as Kalulu's got back up straight to his feet. Chibi is holding his knee. It looks like he might have caught himself on the way down. Surprised there was no free kick given from the linesman, but a throw-in has been given to Congo. And we will just have a moment while we wait for Chibi to get back to his feet. He is slow. He's limping away from the situation. Looked to me like an important challenge. I think it was actually the ankle that may have caught Kalulu, who was running in. Kalulu's taken this throw in now, sends it into the area, headed away by Agard. Only as far as the edge of the area. That effort's gone just wide, though. It's going to be a goal kick now for Morocco. Will just slow things down. That effort was sent goalwards by Mutasami. get things back underway from Bonu. That's forward towards En-Nesyri on the left-hand side. Ball's played back to the goalkeeper. It has been cleared, but En-Nesyri was almost there again. Clearance only gone as far as Chibi, just inside his own half. Punched the ball back into Congo's half. And that clearance is going to go out of play at the halfway line. It's going to be a throw-in now for Moroccan's goal scorer, Hakimi, on the right-hand side. His pass short goes to Amrabat. Back to Hakimi, now to Agard. Quite a forceful pass. Played back to Bonu. Plays it out short to Saiss. Now for Chibi. On the line for Boufal. Holds this up just inside his own half. Boufal flicks the ball past. It's actually been collected quite well by Amrabat. By the touchline. Back inside to Boufal again. Boufal's ball switches onto the right hand side to Ziyech. He's got the overlapping run of Hakimi. Puts it onto his left foot. Brings it inside. Left foot effort goes goalwards. Held and saved well by Mpazi at the near post. Just slows things down for his side. But that's the benefit of having a player like Ziyech. We know that he's got a very good left foot, playing out on the right hand side. His first one set up Hakimi for the cross in. Then he got the assist with his right back when the goal was scored. Right back, right hand side could very much be a threat as the ball through's been chased down by Bakambu. Out on the left hand side. By the touchline still, in goes the challenge from a defensive work from Boufal, and that's out of play now for a throw in on the right hand side that's going to be taken by Congo. Kalulu comes across to take it about even with the goalkeeper's area. Last time he had a throw in, he managed to get this into the area. Actually comes short this time is Kakuta. Played it short to him. His pass onto the edge of the area, finds Mutasami. Mutasami's ball goes into the box. This effort has been cleared though out of play for a corner by Agard. Now a corner to Democratic Republic of Congo out on the right hand side. 11 minutes gone if you are just joining us. Morocco 1, Congo 0. The effort came from Bongonda. It was blocked by Agard. As it bounced off his knee, it's gone out of play for a corner out on the right hand side for Congo. A chance for them to repeat what Morocco did in the opening couple of minutes on the game. Out swinging corner, and then towards the back post. It's found the feet there and it's gone just wide. Found the feet of Masuaku. It's out of play for a goal kick. Couple of Congo players at the back post trying to capitalise on that flicked on header by Kakuta. And nobody could quite get there. I think it was Mbemba that got the final touch just away from Masuaku. Now another goal kick to be taken by Bunu. Again, this time in the direction of En-Nesyri. Now down under the challenge goes Bongonda, and he wins a free kick just inside his own half. A late challenge was made by Amala. And his ball forward's gone to Yuan Wissa, who scored the equaliser in the opening game of this tournament for Congo. Clearance has been made to Ziyech, who's gone down under the challenge of Wissa, and he wins a free kick on the right hand side. Now it's with Agard. Steps away from it. Allows Bunu to take the free kick just inside his own area at the moment. Plays that ball out onto the left hand side now for Saiss. In plenty of space on the left hand side near the touchline. Brings it short for Amrabat. Now forward to Unahi. Finds Hakimi down the right hand side. Space for Hakimi to run into. Through ball to Ziyech, who gets a foot to it, but it's a bit too heavy of a touch. It's been cleared by Inonga. Back onto the right hand side now for Hakimi again. Ball into the box. This time is going to be claimed by Mpazi, who actually pushed this away. It looked like it was a clear catch for him. Didn't feel confident enough to do so, and the clearance from Kalulu's come off with Boufal and out of play for a throw on the right hand side. That throw has been taken short, and then the touch is too heavy and it's out of play for now. Morocco throw in on the left-hand side, deep inside Congo's half. Going to be taken by Chibi, who comes short for it. Not too many options in the box, some lurking around the edge of the area. We've seen Hakimi make late runs already in this game. This time it's gone towards the penalty area, headed away by Mbemba. Brought down by Bakambu. Won back though by Amrabat, but unfairly, says the referee, and a free kick given to Congo now. Precise with the elbow in the back of Bakambu that the referee felt was unfair. That pass is made onto the left-hand side now from Masuaku. Back again to Mbemba. Mbemba passes it across to Kalulu. Inside his own half. Back to Mbemba. Back again to Mpazi. Waiting for more pressure to come towards him. Doesn't get it, so plays it out short to Mbemba. Makes his way towards the halfway line. That long ball forward has been brought down by Bakambu. Onto the edge of the area. Making the run was Kakuta, but it's been cleared first by Chibi. Brought down by Amrabat. Plays it to Hakimi, who's under pressure. That clearance has again been brought down for Bakamba. In goes the challenge of Hakimi again to win it back, and Morocco will have a break on this right-hand side. Hakimi pushes forward. He's also got Ziyech making an inside run for him. Gives it towards Ziyech. It's just too far away from him, and picks up his Mbemba. Now back to Masuaku. Under pressure again on this left-hand side by Amrabat. And a free kick has been given again against Amrabat. Now Masuaku again. Ball down the line, chased by Wissa. He's also got Bakambu in the middle if he can find him. He's brought back Hakimi as well, and Agard, and there's multiple Morocco players back now. Amrabat's joining in Anunahi. It's eventually won back by Agard. Surrounded eventually was Wissa by 4 Moroccan players who won possession back. Now it's with Boufal on the left-hand side. Played back to Saiss. Deep inside their own half. Congo making sure that they're keeping their shape and positioning for when Morocco do try and make that break. Nahi plays it inside now for Ziyech. Left-footed ball out onto the left-hand side for Boufal. Boufal under pressure brings this inside. Chibi makes the overlapping run, puts it back onto his right foot. Into the box it goes, headed by Nesri, goes towards goal. Tries to get it on the second attempt, but Mpazi this time comes out and catches it. Just outside the 6-yard box. Rolls this out shortly onto the right-hand side for Kalulu. Played back to Mbemba. Back to Inonga. Inonga's inside pass this time for Kakuta. His through ball comes off of the heel of Agard. I don't think he knew too much about that. And he had to get the touch as well because it was Bakambu that was making the run through. Been through on goal otherwise. It seems like the tactic of Congo at the moment is try and find a way through on the floor, and all else fails that, just send it forward to Bakambu, and that's what they've done so far in the opening 17 minutes of this game as Masuaku plays it back to Inonga. Now back to Mbemba. Making his way towards the halfway line at the moment on the right-hand side. That ball forward again goes in the direction of Bakambu, headed away again by Agard. Brought down by Unahi. Plays it to Ziyech, goes down under the challenge, and now the free kick's been given against Pickle, just outside his own area. Free kick won by Unai. It was a bit of a late challenge from Pickle. He kept his leg there to trip up the Moroccan midfielder on his way through. Just seeing a replay at the moment of the En-Nesri effort that went goalwards. It's actually come off of his shoulder, not his head, which might have affected the amount of power he could get behind that shot just a moment ago. Free kick taken out now to Saiss. On the left-hand side, plays it back to his goalkeeper, just outside his area. Gives it back to Saiss again, just as Congo players were starting to venture left. Clear out the passes to Agard or Hakimi. Ball forward to Malo again. In goes the challenge this time of Pickle, and plays it back to his goalkeeper. And it's played out short to Mbemba, just outside of Congo's area. Now across to Kalulu. Now Inonga. And on to the left-hand side for Masuaku. Under pressure from Ziyech. Has to go into the middle again for Mutasami. In the centre circle, Mutasami plays it back to Mbemba. His through ball, in goes the challenge this time of Chibi. Wins it back from Morocco. Gives it to Amrabat. Just slows things down. There's a chance there maybe for Morocco to create a break. Ziyech gets it and gives it back to Hakimi. Now to Amrabat again, pulling the strings in the midfield of this Moroccan side in the opening 20 minutes of the game. Now back with Chibi again. Cross to Saiss. Saiss's long ball forward, chased down by Boufal. Bit too much on it, but Buffon manages to keep it in play. Dribbles this past one player, takes it into the area, lays it off onto Unai on the edge of the area. His touch is a bit too heavy, he still gets there just in time. Brings it back to Boufal again, still inside Congo's area at the moment. Boufal toying with the ball a bit too much, and Kalulu's tackle loses possession almost momentarily for Morocco. They do get it back quickly though. It's now on the right hand side with Ziyech. Not quite as dangerous a position as it was just a moment ago. Now with Hakimi. Back to Ziyech by the touchline. Inside to Hakimi again. This time the challenge from Wissa. Wins it back, and it's only gone as far as Ziyech. Still by the touchline. Plays it inside now as a pass to Amala. Amala gives it across to Saiss, who's made his way into Congo's half. Back again to Amala. Now with Boufal. Now Nahi. Onto the left-hand side with Chibi. Now in a dangerous position, Unai gets the ball back, chips it over, and Nesri's header doesn't quite get enough power on it again, and it's collected by Mpazi. I think you really need to be alert at the moment to be a Moroccan attacker, because as soon as that comes in, the goalkeeper is almost immediately out for it. You get a shot on goal, a lofted shot in fact, could prove dangerous for Congo, but at the moment it's working out in the favour of Mpazi. Every time the ball has gone to Nesri, he's been equal to it. Just a goal from the set piece that separates the two sides after 21 minutes. Here goes Amrabat again to win possession back for Morocco inside his own half. Gets it back from Boufal, almost loses out on possession then. His pass inside again to Nahi, back to Boufal, now to Chibi. Chibi switches this just to the edge of the area with Agard, who makes his way out on the right hand side of centre back. Gives it back to Saiss again. Saiss's pass forward for Amala. Back to Saiss. Now across to Agard. Ziyech's ball forward. Hakimi's going to chase this. He keeps this in play on the right hand side. He has got Masuaku alongside him as pressure though. Is forced to go back to Ziyech. Ziyech has had an effort from around about 40 yards out. And that wasn't even troubling Mpazi in the Congo goal. He'll have a goal kick to play out now. Plays it short to Mbembe. Now to Kalulu. Now Bongonda. Back to Mbembe again. Mbembe's pass across to Inonga. Inonga now. Pass is too heavy for Masuaku, and it's out of play for a throw in at the halfway line. On the right hand side for Morocco, and it's Hakimi that comes across to take this. Ziyech makes himself an offer on the left hand side, further down the wing. Just looking for options to throw this ball forward. Amrabat's joining it as well. Instead, Ziyech comes short for it. Plays a quick 1-2 with Hakimi. It goes all the way back to Bunu. Plays it out onto the left hand side now with Saiss. Across to Amrabat. Morocco just playing with the ball patiently at the moment. They know that this win and the 3 points will see them through the group stages as expected by most, as that ball forward is brought down now by Ziyech to Anuhi. Now I think the free kick has been given for an offside against Ziyech. He's got some choice words to give to the linesman. They're not very happy with the decision, didn't feel he was offside at all. But the free kick has ultimately been given. It's now with Congo on the right hand side. In goes the challenge again of Amrabat, wins this back. But still somehow with the ball pushing forward is Bongonda. He goes down under the challenge eventually and wins a free kick in a similar sort of position to where Amrabat had his shot from not too long ago. It was a couple of Morocco players, but it was eventually the challenge of Amala that brought down Bongonda to the floor and wins the free kick for Congo. And there is disruption going on between the two sides at the moment as Masuaku gets involved, and it's the captain's getting involved that's had to slow things down and just keep people separated at the moment. Pushing the back originally from Amala before the tackle came in and the free kick was given. I'm not sure if a booking is going to be given at the moment. Just going to wait and see what the referee's decision is. Now things seem to have calmed down. He seemed to step away from the altercations that were taking place and allow the captains to do their job to keep the sides separated. Both Sais and Masuaku were doing just that. No yellow card given on this occasion, but a free kick about halfway between the halfway line and the goalkeeper's area is going to be taken for Congo. Everybody back from Morocco at this point. Pickle just pushing Agard a bit further back to maybe keep his players onside. Right-footed free kick goes in towards the back post. It's too heavy and it's gone out of play for a goal kick. It was in search of Mbemba, who was making that run at the back post, but there were no Moroccan players following him either. A goal kick now for Bonu. Now the referee's just going to cross to have a word with the fourth official, as we are going to have a brief water break as we are halfway through the first half. Not too many chances to tell you about, other than what happened, of course, in the opening couple of minutes of the game when Hakimi's cross was headed goalwards by En-Nesyri, headed over by Mpazi. The resulting corner was put in by Ziyech, and a late run from Hakimi found himself free at the penalty spot and put it past both Wissa and Mpazi to give his side the lead. And into the water break it is. Morocco 1, Democratic Republic of Congo 0. We are ready for things to get back underway for us now, and it is going to be the goal kick taken by Yassin Bunu. 60% possession so far in this game by Morocco, and they've already allowed more shots in this game than they did in the opening game of the tournament against Tanzania. Goal kick again goes down the left hand side. Just kept in play by Chibi. Flicked on by Amala. Brought down by Pickle. In goes the challenge though of Amrabat. Wins this back. He gives it to Ziyech on the right hand side. Ziyech tries to beat Masuaku, who wins possession back. Continues his run down the left hand side. That ball forward almost makes it over Agard, who just gets there in time. Otherwise Bakambu again was through on goal. Maybe a bit more power needs to be put on these forward balls from Congo, as now Hakimi's got the ball down the right hand side, inside pass to Ziyech. He's allowed that to run, but in goes the challenge now of Pickle. Plays out onto the left hand side with Wissa, makes his way into the opposition half. Wissa up against Agard, brings it in onto his right foot. In goes the challenge of Unahi, wins the ball back. It has been cleared though by Sais, and up goes for the challenge. We've now got a Congo player down on the floor, as up goes for the challenge Kakuta. Goes up with Hakimi, and I think Hakimi just landed on him as that was made, but that's the first real breakaway from Congo, and it was the through ball that Wissa tried to find Bakambu again before the clearance was made. And Unahi, actually, I saw the push in the back on Wissa, nothing from it though, and then it was, as the clearance came, Kakuta headed this away, and Hakimi went up for the challenge and landed on him and caught him in the back at the same time. This time the free kick goes in central. Headed away by Agon, out of play for a corner. More defensive work now for Morocco to deal with. It's going to be out on that right hand side. Again, only the second corner of the afternoon. It's going to be another right-footed out-swinging corner to take. Nearly led to a chance last time for them as it was headed on towards the back post, but Mbemba couldn't quite capitalise on it. The chances him and Inonga have both moved forward again. As now Agard's gone down onto the floor. Nothing's been given by the referee. Goes in towards the near post, flicked in towards the back post, headed away by Unahi. Only as far as the edge of the area, brought down by Boufal, who's under pressure still, cleared by Chibi. Out on the left-hand side, chasing this down at the moment is Ziyech. Brings this down, keeps it in play out on the right-hand side, then goes down under the challenge, wants a free kick, nothing given, as there's a chance now for Congo to keep possession and maybe create a breakaway themselves on the left-hand side with Masuaku. Gets the ball just as Nesri makes his way back onto the right-hand side just to cover for Hakimi's position at the moment. Mutasami gets the ball. Plays it back now to Mbemba. Mbemba ventures forward. Plays onto the edge of the area. Waits for the ball back and it has been cleared. It's now a chance to break with Ziyech. Plays it across to his left back Chibi, who's in plenty of space. Now back to Saiss. Ball across to Boufal. To Ziyech. Long ball forward. In plenty of space now is Nesri. The flag stayed down. It's gone all the way through to Mpazi. That touch was way too heavy, but he was through on goal otherwise. A better first touch, and that was a chance for him equaling the top goal scorer for Morocco. Long ball forward. Bakamba's there. Flicks this on, it's chased down the right-hand side by Bongonda. In goes the challenge, and a free kick has been given against Saiss, who went in late for the challenge. It's the linesman that's flagged that this is going to be a free kick, and we're just going to see whether there's going to be a booking shown as well. The referee's going over to his linesman to ask for assistance. He stands on the spot where the free kick's going to be given. It's just on the right hand side outside the area. It's a late challenge, and a heavy touch by Bongonda allows that challenge to come in and not catch the ball really. I'm just looking at the replay now of Nesri making that run where he would have been through on goal, and he would have been onside as well. It was the right decision for the flag to stay down. It was an excellent timed run. Inonga got back quickly. The touch being too heavy allowed it to go all the way through to Mpazi. And I suppose when you've got a keeper playing that sweeper-keeper sort of role, he's quick to the ball when those sort of touches are too heavy. It negates any sort of danger. Done so on this occasion. And now there's a free kick to be taken on the left-hand side by Kakuta. It's almost by the corner flag, so it's very similar to corner position. And Mbemba making his way forward. Pickle and Inonga in there as well. Free kick goes in. It's gone towards the goal. It's gone all the way through to the back post, and it's just been missed again by Mbemba, who's wanting a corner for it. They're hoping for a corner. I don't think it's going to be given as a corner. Original decision is a goal kick. I'm not sure if that's going to change at all. Mbemba at the back post really should have done something with that. It has come off the foot, in fact, on its way through of Saiss, but Mbemba was still there and should have been able to adjust himself. He's not done so on this occasion, and that's gone out of play, and I think it's going to be a corner that's given, but there'll be a break in play at the moment as well, whilst there's another Congo player down. Remember the captain speaking to the referee just to find out what his decision is. I think with assistance he has opted to go with a corner. So we'll have another corner for Congo. Another corner that Morocco are going to have to defend. And it'll be the third corner for Congo, and each time it's been flicked on towards the back post, and there's been somebody trying to capitalise for it. That one, although, came from a free kick. And Mbamba's found himself free on each occasion. So we have another brief water break just whilst the physio is on the field. It does look like it's a head injury, and it is Inonga that's got the head injury. I'm just going to see what happened. It looks like he was caught by the arm of Amala whilst he was jumping up for the ball from the free kick that was coming in. And it'll explain why there's tissue being used to stop the bleeding at the moment to the head of Inonga. Amala jumps up with his arm. Seen sometimes they've been given as free kicks. I'm not sure if the same would be the case in a penalty scenario. 12 substitutes have been named for either of these sides, of course, as is the case with international competitions. There's potential that they could be used if Inonga is forced to leave the field. His head is just being wrapped in a bandage at the moment. It's not a nice sight to see either. We hope everything is okay, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue in this game at the moment. I think a change is going to be the smart decision to make now for Morocco, and it's something that Regragui is going to have to think about. Different options he's got available on the bench, who he's going to bring in. It is Sebastian De Sabre that's calling back players that are going to have to come on as a substitute, as this is not a nice sight to see with Inonga. Just waiting for confirmation as to whether he is going to be allowed to continue on the field of play or not, or whether it is going to be a substitution that's needed. Both him and Mbemba have played quite well attacking these set pieces in this game so far. He is back to his feet at the moment, and the wound has been bandaged. I'm just going to check if Inonga is able to continue in this game. Warming up on the sideline, just in case he is needed, is Dylan Batu-Binsika. Just going through a few warm-up procedures at the moment. Just going to wait and see if Inonga's forced to leave the field. Is it a case of a substitution is going to be made, or is he going to have to just leave the field momentarily before being called on? Inonga's actually now making his case to the referee, saying that he feels that it should have been a penalty because of the elbow to the head. No penalty has been given. In fact, his side have a corner to attack. He's been asked to leave the field due to the physio's attention required. Now the referee's been called over to the side again. There's going to be a VAR check now as to whether this is a penalty for Congo. Of course, the first thing is to check that everything is okay with Inonga, and it looks like that. He has left the field walking unassisted, which is of course the good news. But we've now got Peter Waweru, the referee for today's game, just checking at the moment to see if there is a penalty. The elbow of Amala has caught the head of Inonga as he's made that leap to win the header. And then Saiss stops almost a certain goal scoring opportunity for Mbemba at the back post. Just looking at it from a different angle, he's jumped with his arms as well. It's not a case of sometimes you'll see defenders getting close with clashing of heads. The heads were nowhere near each other. It was a waving arm from Amala that caught the head of Inonga. And it's dangerous even from a set piece perspective, not just whether you can elbow a player, but there's always the risk of a handball coming from that as well. Well, the decision has been made as he walks away from the VAR box, and he has pointed to the spot, and the Democratic Republic of Congo have a penalty. And a yellow card has been issued to Amala as well, who's not leaving the referee alone, but with the VAR assistance we have our first yellow card of the afternoon, and it's gone to Selim Amala, and we have our first penalty of the afternoon, and a chance for the Democratic Republic of Congo to draw level from the spot. Work now for Yacine Bounou in the Morocco goal. Certainly questionable to raise with your arms in that kind of fashion. But as soon as he'd seen the replay, the referee didn't really hesitate to show the yellow card and give a penalty either. And we'll see just what happens from the spot. But Cambu is stood over it at the moment. I'm not sure if he's the player that is set to be taking it. Inonga's still on the sideline receiving additional treatment. By the time he rejoins the game, his side could be level. And to do that, attention turns to Cedric Bakambu. Already involved in 4 goals at his last 3 African Cup of Nations games, including the assist in the opening game to Johan Wissa. He's got a chance to draw things level against the favourites of the tournament. Cedric Bakambu against Yacine Bounou. On the referee's whistle, he'll take the penalties. He places the ball down and steps away from it. Deep breath as the whistle's blown. Penalty's taken. He's hit the outside of the post and he's missed it. It's gone wide and it's going to be a goal kick to Morocco. Drags the ball just a bit too far wide. He's aimed for the bottom corner, out of reach of Bounou, and it's hit the outside of the post. Bit of a saving grace there for Morocco. Not the greatest of penalties either. Looks like maybe he got his foot under it a bit too much, and he's dragged it wide off the post. Now we have a goal kick. Bounou will take this. We've got 3 minutes left of regular time, and then whatever additional time the referee decides to go with, as Inonga rejoins the game. I think for a moment the referee was blowing for half time, and Morocco aren't happy at all with whatever the referee's decision has been. He's now said that the goal kick can be taken, and we'll get things back underway as we are now inside those 3 minutes, heading in towards half time. And then whatever additional time has been given, this time it's been headed away by Mutasami, brought down by En-Nesri. In goes the challenge again of Mutasami, gives this to Wissa on the left hand side. He is rushing to get himself away from Amrabat, brings it back onto the inside, dribbles the ball forward. In goes the challenge again of Ziyech, wins the ball back on the right hand side now, plays the ball to Amala. Amala gives it back to Ziyech on the right hand side now to Hakimi. In goes the challenge and it's just kept in play. Pushing forward now is Masuaku, who's gone down under the challenge of Ziyech and wins a free kick just inside his own half. He's gone down holding his ankle, almost theatrically there even, should I say, and a yellow card has been given to Ziyech. A challenge that maybe needed to make, as there was a run being made on the left hand side away from him, and it was Pickle that was getting away when Ziyech put the challenge in. It was a nice of challenges. I think with how far Pickle had pushed the ball ahead of him, Agard would have been there for it. The free kick's taken. Ball goes in towards the back post. It's been headed down now for Bongonda. Bongonda chips this towards the back post, too much on it, and it's gone away from Wissa and out of play for a goal kick. Again, will be taken by Bonu. I wouldn't say, despite missing that penalty, Congo are too far away from getting something out of this game. They have been creating some chances, making it difficult for Morocco. Bakambu, as soon as he missed that penalty, his arm went straight up to apologise to his teammates, to his staff. His goal kick goes past the Inonga. Brought down by Ziyech again. Now with Boufal. Boufal makes his way into the left-hand side. He's got Kalulu alongside him. Dribbles it through, but in goes the challenge of Mbembe. He's now venturing forward again. Switches this out onto the left-hand side. It's going to be chased by Bakambu. Bit too much of a heavy pass. Agar goes down under the challenge of Bakambu, and it's going to be a free kick given just inside their own area. Bit of a nudge in the back of Hakimi, who's chasing that down, and he's gone to the floor, and the free kick's the right decision, but there's a nudge in the back and then an argument as to why the free kick's been given from Congo, as we are now into added time. And 11 minutes of added time has been indicated. So we continue for another 11 minutes of the first half after the stoppage, of course, with the earpiece not working, and then the incident with Inonga, and then the VAR check, of course, for the penalty. Quite a lot to unpack throughout the course of that first half, and this time it's been cleared by Mpazi before Ziyech can get there. Goes all the way through to Canberra again. Concedes a free kick to raise him for the challenge alongside Amrabat. Just inside Morocco's half. Inside the centre circle at the moment is Saiz. Ball forward brought down by Ziyech in space. Finds Amala. Down to the right hand side with Hakimi. By the touchline, he gives the ball to Ziyech. Puts it onto his left foot. Ziyech's ball goes in. It's been watched all the way through. Boufal was making the run at the near post, but he moved out of the way quickly to allow that to roll all the way through. He'd been onside. I think it was more of just a dummy that he tried to give. This time it's been rolled out short. In goes the challenge of Ziyech. Wins it back quickly, but then Mutasami gets it back for Congo. The ball was rolled out by Mpazi, and that's what I mean by his quick reactions to get rid of the ball. He rolled it out to Mbembe, who was actually surrounded by Morocco players, and definitely didn't need to be doing that to put his defence under a lot of pressure almost immediately after. As now Inonga's pass goes just out of play, a bit too heavy again for Masuaku. Not happy with the decision of making that pass himself. As the cross comes in, he was definitely onside. Was Boufal, who just moved out of the way, hoping that Mpazi may have committed to him having the ball, and it could have led to a goal. But Hakimi now just inside his own half has a throw in to take. Long ball down the line. In goes Inonga again, alongside Nesri. Inonga plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Mpazi, who's got the ball, plays it out to Mbembe. Mbembe again across to Inonga. Inonga now to Masuaku. Now to Mbembe, inside the opposition half. Ball forward, cleared by Saiz. And as far as Mbembe again, who heads it down for Inonga, who's under pressure from Ziyech. Finds Masuaku on the left-hand side, just inside his own half, in front of the technical area. Back inside again from Mutasami. Back to Masuaku on the left-hand side. Now to Wissa, who's gone down under the challenge of Amrabat. A free kick has been given. Looks like it might have been taken quickly. Wissa's saying he's not the one that made that pass. And now it's with Bakambu. Now with Hakimi on the right-hand side. Gives this pass to Unahi. Now to Ziyech, back to Unahi. Now with Ziyech again. Back to Amrabat. Across to Saiz again. Saiz finds Chibi by the touchline. Chibi back to Saiz. Pass inside to Amrabat. Amrabat out onto the right-hand side for Agard. He's got Hakimi alongside him, forced to go back to his goalkeeper from the pressure of Bakambu. Just outside his own area, he's waiting for any additional pressure. Bakambu eventually gets there. Out onto the right-hand side now for Ziyech. In goes the challenge of Masuaku. Plays it inside for Mutasami. Back to Masuaku again. His ball through, cleared by Agard. Brought down again by Masuaku on the left-hand side under pressure from Ziyech. Brings it inside as a pass to Inonga. Cross now to Mbembe. Mbembe's ball down the line. He's chased by Bongonda. Don't think he was quite aware or expecting that ball forward. It's watched out of play by Saiss. Bongonda looked like he'd actually moved short for the pass as the pass was made over the top for him. Maybe run into the space. Goal kick taken by Bunu. Head out onto the left-hand side now for Chibi. His pass inside for Amala. In goes the challenge now of Pickle. Pickle pushing forward, gives the ball to Bakambu, goes down under the challenge and wins a free kick, now in a dangerous position for Congo. Looked like he was about to take that quickly, but steps away for it. Ziyech moves across and stands over the free kick. Saiss and Agard now making their way back. It was Saiss that committed the foul on Bakambu, as a couple of times where Congo players were making a break before them challenges have been made. The free kick is going to be taken now. And Masuaku's come across to take it. Aims goalwards for it, and it's caught by Bonu, who just dives on the ball and wastes a couple of more seconds before getting things back underway for us. We're 6 minutes into the 11 minutes added time at the end of this first half. Ball forward, head away by Inonga. Out onto the right hand side with Agard. His ball forward, flicked on by Ziyech. Into the space where En-Nesyri were chasing. Inonga gets this back though. Inonga plays it across to Mbembe. Into space, finds the run. Chibi's there first before it gets all the way through to Bongonda. Plays that for Boufal. Almost at the halfway line, inside pass to Amrabat. Amrabat plays it across to Nahi. Got the run of Hakimi, gives it to Ziyech instead. By the touchline on the right hand side, gives the ball back inside to Nahi. Quick football between him and Hakimi. Now the ball back with Ziyech again. Ziyech tries to put this onto his left foot. In goes the challenge of Inonga. Now a chance for Congo to continue their break. There's a player down on the floor a moment ago, but as Inonga was continuing his run, Hakimi got straight back up to his feet. And Hakimi was down on the floor, almost expecting a free kick to be given if he'd stayed down. Nothing was given. As soon as he saw the opposition on the break, he was straight back up to his feet. Now with Kalulu on the right hand side. Pass now to Mbembe. Tries to find Bakambu. Clearance has been made again. Now Inonga across to Masuaku again. Back to Inonga. Just inside Morocco's half at the moment. Kalulu gets possession of the ball on the right hand side. Now by the touchline. Brings it inside, tries to put it onto his left foot. Inside pass again, it goes all the way through. And it's watched out of play this time by Saiss, and out of play for a goal kick. Bakambu was making the run through. Flag would have stayed down as well. Shepherded out of play quite well defensively. And out of play for a goal kick. Ball forward this time flicked on by Amala. Amala gets the ball back, looks into space for Chibi to be making a run. The run's a bit late, but he manages to keep it just in play. It's under pressure as well from Bongonda, forced to go back now to Unahi. Out onto the right hand side is Hakimi. Now with Ziyech. Back to Hakimi again. Now with Ziyech just outside the technical area. Long ball through to be chased down by Hakimi. The clearance has gone all the way through back to Ziyech, who's gone down under the challenge from Wissa, who then goes down under the challenge of Hakimi. The free kick's been given, I think, in favour of Congo. There was a couple of challenges where the referee could have given a free kick for anybody at that point, but down on the floor at the moment, I think it's Ziyech that stayed down. No free kick given to him as Anunga clears the ball. And as Wissa goes in for the challenge with Ziyech, Ziyech stays down. And as Hakimi goes back into the challenge afterwards with Wissa, the free kick I think has been given to Congo under the challenge on Wissa. Nothing given for Ziyech's challenge. The free kick's been taken short. Into the last minute now of added time. Off the ball forward into space to be changed by Bakambu. Just keeps that in play. It's actually been watched away from the goalkeeper and cleared by Agard before Wissa was able to capitalise. It's now gone all the way through to En-Nesri. In goes the challenge and it's ball back with Inonga. Now on the left hand side with Mazuaku. A last chance of the half for Congo. And the through ball's been made and Pickle actually stopped his run. Felt that maybe he'd have been offside. He'd made the run and as soon as the ball was played, he'd taken his eyes off of it, thinking that the pass wasn't going to him. So instead of going back for the ball, where it had been through.
So I've done this job for, 24 years. And in the first 10 of those years, football didn't see the problem for me. In the last 14 years, football has said the same things over and over in different ways. The most significant of the tweets that you read out a second ago were Mbappe's superstar current player and Wrighty's superstar former player, but articulating the problem. For many years, people have suggested play through it, don't let them win. For decades, actually, people have said, don't let them win. If you walk off, you disrupt the game and they win. But the problem is that every time we have this debate, it's always the same thing. Player expresses his disgust, club says we stand shoulder to shoulder, everyone else says, oh, how terrible it is for a day, couple of days, and then we move on until the next thing occurs. Now, there's a couple of things to say about this whole situation. The FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, is calling for automatic forfeits of games. You're the FIFA president. You don't need to call for anything. Just do it. You've been the president since 2016. In that time, Suleiman Tari walked off the pitch in 2017 when he was a Pescara player, and they played Cagliari, and the referee booked him for complaining to the referee about the abuse he'd been receiving. A Shakhtar player, Tyson, was punished in 2019, when he kicked the ball into the stand in response to abuse he'd had. In Spain, you had a situation where Muktu Diakabi, racist abuse in a game against Cadiz when he was playing for Valencia, walks off the pitch as players fall. Where was Gianni Infantino then? He could have said all of this then.
Yes.
What he's saying now sounds very much like a man playing to the gallery. The whole structure of football is, and I'll be honest with you, I would defer to any manager over tactics and stuff, and players, whatever. Over race, I would contend with anybody who would suggest to me that football is okay. It doesn't have a racism crisis. In England, it has a racism crisis. In Europe, it has a racism crisis. In world football, it has a racism crisis. And the only way to address it is to leave the field of play. Not because you want to cause a problem for fans, either players, whoever else, but the facts are that when you go to work, you should not have to play in a situation like that. I have children, you have children. I think as far as I'm concerned, I would not want to send my son into a febrile atmosphere where he is not protected. 3-step protocols do not work. What you're doing is handing people, as we saw with England's players in Bulgaria, 3 opportunities to be racially offensive. It is a nonsense. The whole structure of football in the fight against racism is not fit for purpose. Gimmicks, advertising, all of that clearly does not work. So when Casey Palmer talks about bringing up his young children to be black and proud, he says it because he knows that that's what they will have to contend with if things stay the same as they are. So as I say, whatever level, whoever, I'm prepared to say the same things I'm saying to you, to them. Infantino's got it wrong. In English football, we've got it wrong. We have not reached the point where we can go any further than say there is no place for racism in football. And because of that, players must walk off. When they walk off, a new order out of all of the chaos will be created where there is zero tolerance. And not only that, I very seldom talk about this, but being president of the Sports Journalists Association, our media culture has to keep talking about this. Not just for the big players, the superstar players like AC Milan's Mike Maignan, but for the Casey Palmers, but for the players at grassroots. Our disciplinary structure, the FA talk about we can find players, we can find clubs and dock points and whatever else. You can for the small teams, not the superstar teams, the big clubs. But sometimes it happens there too. And I think until we have a culture where that's the case, again, we're gonna be here again. The whole thing needs to be ripped up and started again.
Miguel, this is football's problem, right? So football needs to solve it.
Football has a specific issue. I mean,
football is obviously as an extension of wider society.
Sure.
Lamentably, it's dealing with the issues of wider society, especially as we're seeing like the rise of the far right, which will feed into this sort of thing. But where it's so important football is, obviously, as Darren's very eloquently referenced there, I mean, we shouldn't keep facing this problem again and again. And there's been I suppose because of Moynihan's decision, and this whole debate runs back a few years, going back specifically as opposed to what happened with England and Bulgaria, there's this kind of argument about how, that walking off is an extreme solution that affects the game. Well, first of all, it's not for people to say how a player being racially abused should respond. He'll respond how he sees fit in a moment that no one should have to put up with. But equally, if we're talking about this in the context of, well, if people walked off, that would wreck the game. Well, the issue isn't with people walking off. That illustrates that the game hasn't dealt with this properly. And that is where maybe we have to get into talking about stronger punishments, stronger deterrence. And I mean, I would agree with Darren that in
by Agard. Nothing was given. And a penalty, of course, in the first half that hit the outside of the post. And Bunu takes this free kick. Heads for Ziyech. It's been headed away by Masuaku. Whistles through ball for Bakambu. It's touch too heavy. Goes all the way through to Bonu. Will just take things steady. We're playing this out to Amrabat. He's passed short to Amala. Mala's passed to his goalkeepers, way too heavy, and from nothing. There's going to be a corner now for Congo. Their fourth corner of the afternoon. It's been a great defensive performance from Morocco. They've been very much up against it throughout the majority of the first half, and they're going to have to do the same to start this second half. It's themselves that have conceded the corner. It's going to be an in-swinging corner taken from the left-hand side. Goes in towards the middle. It's made its way all the way through, and it's been pushed just wide this time by him. And Bemba, he's saying again that he might actually want a corner out of this, but there was two Congo players in the middle. It's come off of the knee of one of them. Batu Binsika got the final touch. There's both him and Mbemba there. Again, it's every set piece is going in the direction of Mbemba, but he's not quite able to get to it each time. And Mbemba again is calling for a corner, but it's not going to be given this time. Played out to Agard, who's gone down under the challenge of Bakambu. A free kick has been given. Just outside the area now for Agard. Plays this short to Amrabat, gets the ball back from him. Amrabat now drops in almost as an additional centre-half, as that's played short to Unahi. Quick 1-2 between him and Ziyech. Inside pass now to En-Nesri. Gets the ball back to Unahi. Goes down under the challenge inside the opposition half and wins a free kick just outside the centre circle in Congo's half. Goes down under the challenge of Kakuta. Wins a free kick for it. Saiz comes across to take this. Gives it to Chibi. Chibi's lofted ball forward, aims for Amala. It's going to go all the way through though. Amala wasn't aware of just how much he'd be putting on that. It's gone all the way through to a goal kick now for Mpazi. A lot of miscommunication between the midfield and attack of Morocco on occasion throughout the first half. Sometimes the passes have been a bit too heavy, or playing the long passes when the attackers were expecting the short pass. And Masuaku gets the ball on the left hand side. Long ball forward again is changed down by Bakambu, and it's gone all the way through into the grateful arms of Bonu. Watched through by Agard and Saiz again. He rolls it out now to Agard. Agard's got space to run into. Plays it out onto the right hand side now for Hakimi by the touchline. Inside their own half still. Hakimi with the ball. Goes back to Saiz. Saiz plays it across to Amrabat. Amrabat now with space to run into. Gives the ball on the left hand side for Boufal. Goes all the way back in the end to Saiz. Now across to Agard. Out again now for Hakimi. Gives it to Ziyech. Ziyech's ball in has been cleared. Going to be chased down by Wissa, but in goes the challenge again of Unahi. Gives this to Hakimi. His through ball's chased down though by Boufal. Just keeps that in play. Gives the ball back to Hakimi now with Ziyech. His ball inside, tries to find Unahi. It has been cleared though by Mbembe. Then Mutasami will punt this further. It's been headed down by Bakambu. He goes the challenge on the right hand side though, again by Bongonda. And his ball through's been picked up by Hakimi. Now with Ziyech, back to Hakimi. Ball across the face of goal, it's gone all the way to the back post, and Boufal arrived late and caught it with the outside of his foot. All it took was either a touch from Boufal or from En-Nesyri in the middle, and that's 2 goals to the good for Morocco, but it's not going to happen on this occasion. Hakimi's ball across, and En-Nesyri didn't quite gamble on it, and as Boufal was making the run, all he's going to do is turn it goalwards, and Paz had already gambled on the fact that En-Nesyri was going to get a touch on the ball. He's put it wide, and now we're going to see a second change for Congo, and it is going to be Maeli that joins the game. And that's not the only change we're going to see. Maeli joins the game and Elia joins the game. They're the 2 changes that have been made by Congo. And Bongonda and Bakambu will leave the game. Quick changes made. So that's 3 changes made in total by Congo. 7 minutes into the second half. One was, of course, forced at half time. Nonga going off with presumably a result of the head injury he picked up in the first half. Free kick now to be taken by Saiss. Goes again forward in the direction of En-Nesyri. Headed away and then kept in play by Elia. Cleared by Amrabat. Out to get the ball there though is Masuaku on the left hand side. It's actually been taken off of him almost too easily by Amrabat, who gives the ball back onto the right hand side now to Ziyech. Ziyech has got space to move into, puts it onto his left foot, lays us off onto the edge of the area with Unai, whose effort goes just over, and it's going to be a goal kick. Brilliant build up by Ziyech and Unai on that right hand side for Morocco. But when he's playing with confidence, he's one of the better players in this side. It's Ziyech, but then as Unai dribbled that past one player, it actually fooled out 2 Congo players. His effort just wasn't able to be kept down, as now it's played out to Masuaku on the left hand side. Wissa chases this down, keeps it in play, his touch is too heavy, goes down under the challenge of Hakimi. And a free kick has been waved away, it's going to be a goal kick. I think Wissa may have kept that in play as well had he not gone down to the floor. But nonetheless, a goal kick is the decision that's been made. And I think it's the right decision. Just looking at the replay, Wissa has gone down a bit too easy. But it's a weak pass out, and there's a chance now for Congo as it's taken into the area. He's gone down under the challenge. They're wanting a penalty. I think that's going to be a corner. An excellent chance from Agard. Kakuta's the one that capitalised on the weak pass out from Agard. Makes his way back past him into the area. Excellent challenge. I think that's actually a goal kick. The referee's given a goal kick for it, and looking at the replay, he's made the right decision. Excellent work from Agard to point the ball back in the direction of Kakuta's left foot. He wants a penalty for it. There's no penalty for me there at all. Right decision by the referee to spot that as a goal kick. We're back underway with Bonu. He's taking his time, wasting a bit more time before the referee urges him to take this goal kick. Referee's just speeding things up. Otherwise a booking may very well be on its way. Going forward by Amrabat. To collect that is and Mbembe onto the right-hand side for Kalulu. His ball forward, watched through by the grateful Chibi, who then will clear that on the second attempt. Headed back into Morocco's half now, though, with Mutasami. Gives the ball to Masuaku, lines this up. Masuaku's effort goes just wide from around about nearly 30 yards out. We know he's had history of striking efforts from that sort of distance before, normally from dead ball situations and free kicks. Lands it up quite nicely. Drilled effort goes just wide. Goal kick again to be taken by Bonu. With 56 minutes played so far. Out onto the right hand side for Hakimi. This ball forward goes out of play for a throw in. It's going to be taken at around the halfway line. He was looking for Ziyech again. Now the pass is made across to Mbembe. Now to Kalulu. Back to Mbembe again. Ball forward. Headed away from Elia. Kept in play though by Chibi. Looked like it was destined to go for a corner. Spins on the ball and Elia's committed the foul, and a free kick's now going to be given by the corner flag for Morocco. It was a bit of a misunderstanding from Elia, who felt that maybe Chibi was going to continue pressing forward with the ball. He didn't do so, and as he put his foot on it and turned back on it, Elia of course tripped him up and committed the foul. And Saiss takes this free kick. Headed on by En-Nesyri. Down under the challenge goes Mbembe, and a free kick's now being given to Congo. It's taken onto the left hand side now for Masuaku, inside the opposition half. Pass played back to Batu Binsika. Mbembe, through ball for Wissa. It's come off of Wissa, his touch is too heavy though, and it's gone through to Hakimi. Again, it looked like maybe the ball was just hit at him as opposed to towards him. As Hakimi's ball inside goes to Amala. Amala now back to Hakimi. Now Unahi. Hakimi's made his way into the area, but back doing his defensive duties is Wissa, who puts this out of play for a corner for Morocco. Only one corner been taken by Morocco in this game, and it's led to the only goal of the game. We'll see if the same kind of thing happens here, as this time it's played short. Now Ziyech puts that cross in. Out comes Mpasi to claim it in the 6-yard box. Quickly rolls us out onto the right-hand side. A chance for perhaps a break here at the moment as Wissa's pushing forward. Takes it into the opposition half. Excellent through ball, just a little bit too weak, and back helping out is Ziyech with an excellent slide tackle. Plays it out onto the right-hand side. Just inside the opposition half, slowly moving with the ball on Morocco. Back to Ziyech again. Goes all the way back to Agard. Agard back to his goalkeeper. Now across to Saiss. Reaching the hour mark at the moment. Morocco still with the lion's share of possession, but not with the better opportunities, the better chances. You could say that about this second half as you would the first half. As Hakimi gets the ball back. Plays it now to Bonu, just inside his area. Across to Saiss. By the touchline, he gives this ball out to Boufal. Boufal makes his way into the opposition's half. Threaded pass doesn't quite get to its intended target, and in there to win possession back is Pickle. Plays this across now to Batu Binsika, who's under pressure again. Takes it into the opposition half now, though, before playing that short to Wissa. Gets the ball back. Plays it wide right. In space at the moment is Elia. Looking for the overlap and running options in the middle. Elia's cross goes in. It's been headed away by Agard once again. Back in the direction of Elia, and it's going to be cleared this time by Saiss. Brought down by Mbembe. Now with Batu Binsika. Across to Masuaku. Mazuaku's pass out wide this time. Finds Sias. He gets the ball back. Tries to switch play, but not in the direction of Elia, and that's gone all the way through for a goal kick. Nothing for Congo to worry about. Another goal kick to be taken, and as much as they're trying to get these final passes made in the final third, it's another solid defensive start to a half from Morocco, who of course won their opening game by 3-0, stood firm defensively then. Arguably a tougher task to keep quiet this Congo side. Ziyech's ball out on the left hand side finds Boufal. Boufal brings it in onto his right foot, still inside the area, takes it past another player. Pass across has been blocked, and now there's a chance again to create a counter-attack with Kakuta. Out on the left-hand side, his pass finds Sias. Sias has gone into the challenge there, as is Agard, who wins possession back. Agard will pass it away again. Another break comes to nothing for the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now with Amrabat. Passes it back into his own half now to Saiss. Now to Hakimi. Morocco just happy to slowly build up play at the moment. They've got the lead, and down under the challenge goes Ziyech. Goes down under the challenge of Mutsami, and now we'll see the first change of the afternoon for Morocco, and El Kanous is going to join the game. He's going to be coming on in place of Sofiane Boufal. So Bilal El Kanous is coming on with the first change made of the afternoon for the current leaders. The second one looks like it's about to be made at the same time as well, and that'll be the introduction of Abdi Ezalouli. He'll be on for Amala, who has already been booked in this game and conceded, of course, the penalty in the first half. And we'll see another change made for Congo as well. As Bakambu a free kick for Morocco. This free kick's taken from around about 40 yards out. It's gone goalwards from Ziyech, and it's gone just over, and it's going to be a goal kick. Taken very quickly, played it out short now to Batu Binsika. Into the left-hand side for Mazuaku. And out wide right with the ball is Kalulu. This through ball has been pointed away by the toe of Chibi. Still some work now defensively to do though, as that's won back quite quickly by Wissa. Onto the edge of the area, dribbles past one. Out onto the right hand side now for the run of Elia. Elia's got options in the middle, not many, as it's mainly a sea of Moroccan players. Headed towards the back post though. By Kakuta. Couldn't quite get there was Wissa, and it's been cleared by Hakimi. Into the channel to be chased by En-Nesyri. Goes and Bembu wins it back and plays it back to his goalkeeper and gets the ball back quickly after. If you are just joining us, 65 minutes gone, Morocco 1, the Democratic Republic of Congo 0. As it stands at the moment, Morocco will qualify from the group stage with this result. In goes the challenge, and it's lined up now for a shot for Sias, but staying down on the floor at the moment is Amrabat, and a free kick has been given against Sias. For the challenge, and I think it was anything. Looking at the replay, it was just a stand on the foot, and with those studs, it does come quite keen. I think sometimes even accidentally they can be quite costly. Can hurt ever so slightly, but we are ready for getting things back underway. Played out short. Now to the left-hand side with Chibi. Chibi's through ball is chased down by Nesri, but it's gone all the way through to Mpazi. Who again will take control of possession for his side. Long ball forward now by Mutasami. In the direction, it's been brought down by Elia, who's gone down under the challenge. A free kick has been given. Not quite sure in which direction. I think Elia's arguing that it's been given against him. Down on the floor at the moment is Chibi. Look like a coming together of the two players. I'm not quite sure if that is a free kick for a foul against Elia, why he would have committed that foul. It doesn't make sense. Elia was through on goal and the two players have collided and he's gone down to the floor under it. I'm not quite sure why the free kick has been given against him. He's arguing that if anything it should have been a free kick for him, as he feels that Chibi maybe got his body in front of him and pulled him to the floor. You could have quite a good argument for that at the moment as well. Moroccan supporters giving huge support to their side at the moment. There's a throw in deep inside Congo's half for Morocco. Phone's been dispossessed. Masuaku's through ball has also been dispossessed. Hakimi got there and just managed to break that up. It's now with Unahi. Out onto the left hand side with Chibi. Switches this across to Agard. Agard gives it to Hakimi. Down the line for Ziyech. And goes the challenge. It's now possession back with Congo. It's with Elia. There goes Wissa, goes down under the challenge. Nothing's been given. There's a chance for a breakaway now from Morocco. Out onto the left-hand side. The ball finds Ezalouli. Ezalouli spins the ball past a couple of players and wants a free kick for it. And I think a free kick's been given, as I'm not quite sure as that would have been a throw-in for Morocco, as Wissa stayed down on the floor, taking his time to get back up to his feet. He wanted a free kick for the late challenge. Not quite sure if... I've seen them given sometimes. It's a very dangerous position to be conceding a free kick, and if Agard's done that, it's a risk for him. But Wissa's back to his feet with no assistance. And we take a quick break as we are halfway through the second half, so a quick water break will be taken by both sides. waiting for things to get back underway between Morocco and Congo due to the water break taking place due to the intense heat at the moment in the Ivory Coast. Morocco still lead by a 1-0. Not too much to be talking about throughout the course of this second half so far. No clear chances for either side. Ball forward headed away though by Kalulu, and it's going to be a throw-in just in front of the dugout on the left-hand side now for Morocco as they prepare 2 more substitutions to be made. Long throw down the line this time, headed away by Mbembe. Up for the challenge goes Saiss, and he wanted a free kick for it this time. He got a free kick for it in the first half, nothing given on this occasion. And we'll see one of those changes for Morocco being made right now. It is the departure from the game for Hakim Ziyech, the other player that had been booked in the first half. And Amin Adli will be the one that joins the game for the final 18 minutes, and then whatever added time is added on at the end of the game. Ziyech, who got the assist, of course, for the only goal of the game. This corner found Hakimi around the penalty spot. His volley was comfortably placed past Mpazi. And the ball on the right hand side with Pickle. Plays it back now for Batu Binsika. Ball forward on the left hand side, collected by Masuaku. Plays it short now for Sias. Sias makes his way into the area. His cross has gone goalwards, been headed away though by Agard. Out of play for a corner. With Congo in the ascendancy at the moment. See if they can do anything from this set piece. The 6th corner of the afternoon. Left footed out swinging corner. Comfortably collected by Bonu, who goes down with the ball. Again, wastes a bit more time. Done that throughout the course of his second half. He's felt the threat that's been brought to them by Congo, and it's forced him on a couple of occasions to need to find a reason to time waste and just go with a bit more clock management, if you will. Been warned by the referee on 2 occasions. No yellow card has been brandished to him yet for it. Headed by Mayele. There's the challenge now of Amrabat. Ball goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. And now a free kick has been given. As down on the floor again is Hakimi, just outside his area. This time it's for a challenge that was made, I think it was by Sia. Making his way forward. He was making the run with him. Got down under the challenge. It was Mayele that was running with him, in fact. I'm not quite sure as... I think Hakimi's kicked his own ankle at that point. I'm not quite sure as that is actually a free kick. There's nothing else that Mayele could have done there. Just chased him down, closing down possession of the ball. And Moroccan fullback has kicked his own ankles and gone down to the floor as the free kick has been taken from just outside the area. Headed away by Mbembe. Goes towards Wissa. He's gone down under the challenge of Amrabat. And the free kick has been given. Taken quickly and played to Batu Binsika. That's to Masuaku on the left hand side. Back again to Batu Binsika. Cross now onto the right hand side for Kalulu. Dribbles it inside onto his right foot. Ball forward has been chased down though now by Elia. Brings it back. And that's an excellent finish from Silas. And that's an equalising goal. It's been on its way, although there's been nothing clear-cut actually created in this second half since Morocco scored. The Democratic Republic of Congo have been the side that have very much deserved to get an equalising goal, or at least a second goal to this game. And whilst they're in the ascendancy, can they capitalise and try and take all 3 points in this group stage game? It really keeps things open if they are able to in Group F. But the substitutes combine with the ball out on the right-hand side to Elia, who just brings this back. And Congo had outnumbered Morocco's defence. It was a great through ball in the first place. Looked completely lost at Chibi. And that's been brought back in a late run that has been made by Silas. Finished up very, very well. Similar sort of position to where Hakimi scored his goal from. He's comfortably placed that past Banu. And where a goal and 3 points would have meant that Morocco would have automatically qualified through this group stage before playing their final game of Group F. They now have to defend against a side that is currently outplaying them at the moment. We are now 77 minutes gone, and it is Morocco 1, Democratic Republic of Congo 1. Four of the last 5 between these two sides have finished 1 apiece. No side has ever scored more than 1 game per goal in this fixture. Could we see a change in the fortunes today for one of these sides? Things are back underway now for Morocco. Pass made by Chibi. For Unahi. Quick football. El Khanous tries to get on to the end of it. Instead, there's a challenge made, and Wissa starts to push forward. There's also Mutasami. Mutasami gives the ball to Wissa on that right-hand side. He cuts inside. There's still options pushing forward for him. He lays this off. It's now even further onto the right-hand side for Elia again. Elia plays it across the face of goal, and it's cleared off the line by Hakimi. A chance for a second goal in quick succession there for Congo. Making the run in was Mutasami. He managed to get it past Banu. The defensive work from Hakimi cleared that off the line. It's on its way in as well. This isn't over yet. 12 minutes left to go. And this game really could go either way. But still, defensive work to do now for Morocco. Referee's just signalling to the sideline. He's been told that a substitution is waiting to be made by Morocco. Amin Harit is ready when that time does come. It's not going to be done at the moment though. Throw-in's made by Kalulu. Gains about 5 yards before getting another throw-in. Akulu still takes this. Throws it short in fact. And then the line's been cleared. The other throw-in now towards the halfway line. And now that change is going to be made. And it is going to be Amin Harit that joins the game. Leaving the field is Youssef and Nesri. Throwing taken near towards the halfway line. Thrown short for Batu Binsika. His pass to Mazuaku. Ball forward headed away by Chibi. Cleared further, only as far as Mutasami. Pass out onto the right hand side, finds Kalulu. Back inside to Mutasami again. Now wide right is Elia. Elia's cross goes in. Goes towards the back post. Cleared by Hakimi. Chested down, but in goes the challenge again. This time wins possession back. However, a free kick's been given on this occasion. I'm not quite sure why, and I'm not the only person that thinks that as well, because Pickle feels that no free kick should have been given against him for the challenge made on El Khabi. And now, free kick will be taken by Morocco. Try to take the time with things and try and ruin the momentum being built by Congo at the moment. Such an eye-opener for the competition. Pre-tournament favourites. Beating Tanzania so comfortably. Going up against a side that haven't played bad by any means at all. And now Silas might see a booking himself after lashing out a little bit from conceding that free kick against Hakimi. He steps away from it just as the referee allows things to get back underway. This pass from Saiss onto the left-hand side for Ezalouli. One back this time though by Mayeli. Flicked forward by Kalulu, who wants a throw in for it. Nothing is going to be given in his side's favour. It's going to be a Morocco throw. Thrown down the line instead. Picked up by Pickle. His ball forwards headed back to his goalkeeper by Hakimi. And Banu will just take his time with things for the moment. Rolls it out now for Saiss. Saiss now leaves the ball. As the referee puts a halt to things and calls on the physio. As Mbemba is currently down on the floor at the moment. We'll just have a quick water break whilst that happens as well. Very much deserving of at least a point out of this are Democratic Republic of Congo. And we'll just have a look at the standings at the moment and how that really takes into effect the scoreline and what's going to happen for each of these sides. At the moment, Morocco will remain top on 4 points. Congo will stay second on 2 points. With Zambia and Tanzania still left to play each other. Win for Zambia could move them up into second place above Congo. If they win by more than 3 goals, they could actually move themselves to the top of the group stage, and it does mean troubling times for Congo, who still have Tanzania to play, and Morocco would then have Zambia still left to play. Point really wouldn't do either of these sides a favour. We are now back underway. Pass is made by Saiss to Amrabat. Amrabat out onto the right hand side. This cross goes in towards the back post and it's just watched out of play by Mpazi. Taken from Adli over on the right hand side. Brings it in onto his left foot. Now it's Mpazi and Zhao that will get things underway for us. Again, as we enter into the final 5 minutes of regular time, and then whatever added time, of course, is decided to be put on at the end of it, as Wissa heads this on to Mayeli. Now Amrabat goes in for the challenge, and a very late challenge has been made on Amrabat at that point, and a free kick has been given to Morocco. And I think there was hopes for a yellow card maybe going up against Kalulu, who rushed in there and took a swipe at the ankles of Amrabat, who's just too quick for him. A free kick just inside Congo's half at the moment. Amrabat stood over it to take it. Plays it short instead to Chibi. Back to Amrabat. Back to Chibi again. Now into his own half. Saiss plays this across to Agard. That ball out on the right hand side now finds Adli. Adli's crossing's been blocked. It comes back to Adli again. Ball's now with Harrit. Who then receives a yellow card as well for a late challenge after losing possession of the ball. Quickly goes in to try and win this back. It's Adley that gets the yellow card, in fact, for pulling on the shorts. There's another player down at the moment, and Adley is down. Looks like he's in some discomfort at the moment. His side do have a free kick at the minute. There's a lot of players stood around him at the moment from both sides. And the physio has just signalled to the sideline that a substitution is going to be needed on this occasion. Means we will see the departure from the game for Charles Pickle. Just getting ready to come on in his place. A good chance here for Congo to go on and get all 3 points in this group stage game. Morocco haven't caused too many issues other than the goal for them defensively. Inonga and Mbemba have done quite well throughout the course of the first half, and then Batu Binsika has done well in the second half when he came on. But the change that is going to be made is that Charles Pickle is going to leave the game. Just seeing who it is that is going to be coming on his place. It's going to be Aaron Shiboli. Aaron Shiboli comes on in place of Pickle. I'm not sure if this is going to be a like-for-like change or if Shiboli's going to play more of a defensive approach, something he has done in the past, and sitting either as a midfielder or as a centre half. So we're ready to get things back underway, and it's taken from Mpazi, who gets the ball back very quickly from Mbemba. Mbemba's long ball forward again in the direction of Mayeli. Amrabat wins it back, plays this off to his left back, but now there's a chance pushing forward for Masuaku. Masuaku on the left hand side, on the edge of the area, dribbles it past one, but in goes the challenge of Hakimi. It's fallen in the end to Mayeli. His effort's been pushed over by Bonu, and it's going to be another corner now, and another chance to maybe do something. Quick attack work from Congo. There's another corner to be taken. As we enter into added time, the 90 minutes has been played. Waiting to see how much the referee's actually adding on, as well as the left-footed out-swinging corner is going to be taken. Goes in towards the back post, headed away. Headed back in that direction, but quickly to get to it is Hakimi again now. It's on the right-hand side, a chance to break here with El Kaabi. El Kaabi takes it into Congo's half, continues his run pushing forward, lays this overlapping pass. It's now with Adley. Adley takes it into the area, puts it onto his right foot, chips this across, plays it back across, and it's been cleared this time out of play, and it's actually, had it been kept in play, it looked like it was destined to go out of play from Mbemba, but it looks like it's been held on to by Mpazi. He's done well to stop that from going out of play for a corner. Quick reactions from him. Excellent footwork to first of all get the effort away. Maybe toe tapping on the sideline as well to make sure that does stay in play. As 7 minutes has been added on, we're already a minute into this. So we're now a minute and 20 seconds in to the 7 minutes added time. Headed on to the left hand side. Now with Alaya. He takes it past 2 Morocco players, but he's going in the direction of his own goal. Plays this back to Masuaku. Gives it to Mbemba. Mbemba's long forward goes into the arms of Bonu. Rolls this out quickly now to Saiss. Inside his own area. Saiss makes his way forward. Gives it to Amrabat. Amrabat now back across to Agard. Agard by the touchline. He manages to find Adley. Adley's pass inside to El Kaabi. Under pressure, he goes back once again. Now to Agard. Agard's long ball forward, headed away by Mbemba. The pressure in it, it's been brought down now onto the left hand side with Ezalouli. Ezalouli brings it onto his right foot, dribbles this into the middle of the field. He's looking for a run out on the right wing, but he hasn't got one. Plays it forward instead. It's now with Amrabat. Cross goes in towards the middle. It's been beaten to before the goalkeeper managed to get there. There was a head of El Kaabi who's pushed that over. Goalkeeper's gone down under the challenge. I think he was wanting a free kick for that. Cross comes in from Chibi. Getting there first. It looks like he'd got there first, actually, did El Kaabi. But the goalkeeper, after coming out to try and get a fist to that, to punch that out, has gone down to the floor. And he's stayed down, waiting for some attention, perhaps from the physio. Referee's coming over to check that everything's okay at the moment. Then he's called the physios on. A corner has been given to Morocco. The referee judges that maybe Lionel Mpazi Nazu got to the ball first. We have yet another break in play. That's going to be a right-footed in-swinging corner to be taken as the goalkeeper is back to his feet. And that's going to be taken by Harrit. Harrit goes in towards the back post. This time it's collected by Mpazi comfortably. And he's quickly back to his feet. Took a moment to gather the ball and keep it within his arms. And quickly got to his feet to try and distribute this. Telling his 2 centre-halves just to move away so he can punt the ball forward. Flicked on by Wissa. Headed goalwards again now by Elia. Back to Wissa again. Chases this down the left-hand side. He's in a foot race with Hakimi. He gets there first and nearly keeps that in play. Goes down under the challenge. Wants to throw in for it. And the throw-in's actually been given to Morocco. Wissa feels that that was either a free kick or his throw-in. Nothing was given in his favour. And by the corner flag, it's going to be a Morocco throw as we're now into the final 2 minutes of the 7 that was added on. Hakimi takes his throw in short, gets the ball back and clears this out of play for a throw-in to be taken on the left-hand side. Throw-in taken short. Back to Masuaku. Clearance comes off Adley and out of play for another throw-in, a couple of yards further forward than the last one. Still inside Morocco's half at the moment. Back to Masuaku again. Goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Very weak pass goes back to his goalkeeper, and Mpazi has to rush out for that before there's a capitalisation opportunity for Adley. Morocco clearing the lines at the moment. Now with Kalulu. Ball forward's been cleared. Time it's been chested down. There's a chance now for Morocco to break in the final moments of the game. The challenge comes in, but it's only fallen as far as the edge of the area now with Ezalouli. His effort's been blocked. Headed back goalwards by Adley. Up goes the challenge, and it's gone all the way through, this time to Mbemba, who's cleared his lines. Now by the touchline on this left-hand side, it's with Harriet. Harriet's pass inside, eventually cleared by Batu bin Sika. Amrabat's in that area again. Elias put his foot in there to try and win the ball back. It's onto the edge of the area now. A chance again from Morocco. That effort's been blocked, and the lines have been cleared eventually by Meeli. He's going to chase this down the right-hand side. Nearly keeps that in play, but the throw-in has been given this time to the Democratic Republic of Congo. He's wanting some urgency. There's no urgency from the rest of his team. And Elias a bit late getting there. He's going to take the throw-in on the right-hand side as Meeli can move more central. I think Harriet was expecting a forward run to be made by Ezel Zuli. He wasn't equal to it. And now we'll have another break in play as Mbemba is back down on the floor again. I think we are just moments away from this full-time whistle going. I think the heat is taking its toll on a number of these players at the moment, as they all appear to be struggling after playing for what has been 108 minutes, as Mbemba's back up to his feet. And now he's been given a yellow card as he gets back up to his feet. Mbemba isn't happy at all with the referee's decision on that occasion. Quite sure what it was that led to him going down in the first place. He's been told to leave the field. The stretcher did come onto the field. We're now into the 8th minute of 7 added on. But Mbemba is leaving the field as the referee suggests. And it means for the remainder of this time, I think, Congo are going to be down to 10 men. And Mbemba is still not happy with things, and he's making that clear to both the referee, the officials and Morocco.